I was watching probably okay.
Yeah. Cherish the day. On a late night, locked down and in solitary, confined to walls of concrete cemetery, hitting souls on a page of lost memories, thoughts and imagery, jail time miseries, thoughts remembering all the sun stretched in the valley of the shadow of death. Night blows cold breath and we all forget and remember to cherish the day. Think back to the times that passed and reminiscence of times I laughed. The more things change, cities stay the same, but still I cherish the day. Cherish the day. Flashbacks to days about acts when the Jake was running the race, avoiding the traps, pitfalls, life seesaw, created by Esau, walking the balance beam and trying not to fall. I done seen it all. I put my hands in the dirt too. I ain't no different from you. I ain't on no pedestal. I used to act a fool from playing since selling weed, holding guns, full of licks for fun, counting for the jeans for funds. Now I'm glorifying Nathan. I'm exposing Satan, praying for faith and patience, and I repent till my days end. And that's real, a JK playing, you know what I'm saying? Got a lot of sins to work off, and I ain't sure I can afford the cost. Give praise to the boss, and continue to strive to resurrect the lost tribe. All praises to the Most High. Think back to the times that passed. Reminiscing, sometimes I laugh at the more things change, see staying the same. Same trials, same places, same dress, same train. So I think on the things short. Do it all I can do and thank God for the small things. So that God I pray and remember every day. Cherish the days. The pleasure of the pain, the sunshine of the rain. Lights, no food to make. Posted at the mailbox, checks is late. Niggas break when the times get tough for sake. But when times get hard, it's the God we praise. The first shoe where the Most High flow through the bloodstream. Can't but stress a trivial thing. Sometimes niggas fall, but we still give thanks and pray. We cherish the day. Think back to the times that passed. Reminiscing, sometimes I laugh at the more things change, still staying the same. Same trials, same places, same dress, same trade. So I think on the things I do, do it all like a pen would do, and thank Christ for the small thing. So to God I pray and remember every day. Cherish the days. The pleasure or the pain, the sunshine or the rain.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Get this together, man. Sounds like some issues going on with my audio. Shabbat shalom to the family in the house, man. What's going on, y'all? What is going on? Give me a second here. Mic check 1 2 1 2. If I'm coming in clear, put a 7 in the chat. Would you do that for me? If I'm coming in clear, Throw a 7 in the chat for me. I was hearing through the audio, the music, it was chopping up, wasn't sounding clear. Not sure if that's on me or if it's an audio issue. Sounds like I'm coming through all right on my end. All right, fam, I appreciate y'all. I see it. I see it. I see it. Let me turn it down a little bit. All right, everything looks solid. Everything looks solid. All praise to the Most High while you have a shy. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Another episode, DSTM, episode number 262 or 263. Who knows? Time is moving so fast. I'm trying to keep up. Hopefully, y'all are as well. Who's in the house? Who's in the house? Who's sharing Shabbat with me for this DSTM edition? Looking like Bayan Shakal in the house. Shalom to you, my good brother. The house of Byron, of course. Family in the house. There y'all go. Who else we got? Smiley Judah in the house. What's up, my brother? Shalom. Ron, brother Ron's in the house. Shalom to you. Shar in the house. Shalom, shalom. Rosemarie, shalom to you. The Quab in the house. Shalak in the house. Sister Catherine in the house. Kohath, my brother. There we go. Shalom to him. From Egypt to Israel. Yabashim Meshai Barakatah. Shalom to you, good brother. Brother Carlos in the house. Shalom to you. The house of Elkanah. There you go. Shalom, shalom. All right, so everybody sliding in slowly but surely. All praises. Mash in the house. Shalom to you. Are y'all in the house? Shalom. All right. Looking right. All right, all praises, man. So looks like we okay. Looks like we all right. Okay. So getting things in order. All praises. Give me 1 second. All right, let me make sure this is done. Hold on 1 second. Bless Shabbat to everybody in the house. Hopefully everybody's doing well today, man. Did you wipe your feet when you came in? You seen the banner. Don't act like you didn't see it. Let me find out. Somebody crept in through the window, back door. That ain't how we get down over here. You know, even Yahweh Shah said, any man that comes up any other way outside of the door, which is him, is a thief and a robber, man. No back doors, no windows, no sliding through down the chimneys like your favorite, favorite white man are supposed to be knowing if you're naughty or nice, delivering gifts. We don't do that. But hopefully everybody's doing well, man. Hit that like button, wipe your feet. We're in the house. All praises. You can see the title, man. It's official. No more speculation. No more. I wonder when. Is it going to leave all of them words out your vocabulary? ASAP. Okay, it's official. NATO was on record saying World War III is inevitable. They're prepping. They're getting ready. I covered the story last year that they were going to be doing their biggest military exercise January 2024. I think I brought out that article maybe about 5-6 months ago. That NATO was going to commence to do a military drill starting January 2024. They made good on their word. 90,000 troops are assembled, getting ready for war. We covered weeks ago, maybe months. Time's moving so fast, I can't keep up. Germany started moving their troops. First time that they've done so since World War II. So everything is official. You know, you're wondering, are we on the right trajectory dealing with World War III? You dang right we are. We got the elites meeting at the Davos meeting. The high elites meeting, discussing disease X. How long ago did we talk about disease X? That was early 2024. I brought out an article talking about disease X, and that's what was the next one. I played videos with Bill Gates, William Gates, talking about this first one didn't get everybody's attention, but the next one will, as he sat there with his ex-wife, Melinda Gates, and they grinned and smiled. Y'all seen that video? So disease X is on the table. Everybody's talking about it. It's trending all over the place. Or people are catching up, I should say. Because like I said, I brought that out earlier last year. And now it's coming to fruition that this is the next big thing that they're going to bring to the table and bring to the public. And how are they going to weaponize it against the people? That's what we're going to discuss as well. We got U.S. troops under fire in Iraq. Yeah, under fire with a barrage of missiles. So is America at war? They're getting hit up in Iraq and in Syria, in the Red Sea. They're at war with the Houthis now, let alone they're at war with other factions of the Middle East. So is World War III, a fallacy? Is this just a trending, word, or are we really witnessing and seeing things that are bringing major nations, nuclear powers, under duress right now? You've got a nuclear power, i.e. Pakistan, going back and forth with another power that's seeking out nuclear power but has access to it, being Iran. They're going at it, right? So it's all here, man. It's official. Not only that, we got more. We got more. So lock in with your brother, man. We're going to get right to it. We are going to get right to it. If you have not wiped your feet, man, we can get out. Get out. Out. Do the walk of shame, about face, walk outside. Head down. When you turn back around, you can lift your head up once you wipe your feet, and you can commence back on in. Okay? Share this information with your brothers and sisters out there within the nation, with your friends, family, man, who's still walking around with they, fingers in their navels and blunts hanging out of their mouths, posing in the mirror, wondering if they look good for tonight's club. Send it to them, man. Wake them up and tell them why you're worried about some of the things that are vanities of life, man. Your world is getting ready to crash right in front of you. All right. Send it to them and let them know. If they ain't listening to you, say, hey, you don't listen to me, man. And check this brother out. He's going to bring out some stuff, man. Maybe you're not aware of. Maybe something you might want to just kind of store in the back of your mind while you're, going out to go get your nails done on the Sabbath. Or maybe while you're, shelled up in the house, sipping lean, watching music videos, smoking blunts. Or maybe before you, prop up that camera to do your OnlyFans. Maybe you might want to slow down on that and really understand what's really going on. Maybe you might want to share it with them. All right, let's get to it. Let's see, where's my PowerPoint? Before we go there, let me get a couple of scriptures too. Let's open up here. I want Daniel. Daniel 2. So if we're talking about world affairs, right? We're seeing the climate that's going on in the world, right? Are we in a system that is getting ready to crumble and collapse? Are we looking at things such as war, things such as biological agents being escaped out of labs in order to preserve or in order to push particular agendas? Because you really can't push things out there. You really can't create change unless there's a problem, right? We've talked about that a number of times. The Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. There's got to be a problem on the table, the inside of reaction. And then here comes the saviors with the red, white, and blue capes on telling you, we've got a solution for all your problems. Well, who created the problems from the beginning? They did. But they have the public confused, dumbed down through entertainment, misinformation, disinformation, complete lies, doped up, drugged up on various things from pills to weed to drink to you know what, who's know what, I should say, completely enthralled in things that are vanity and don't matter. And then when they actually wake up, it's too late. So the Most High is behind, closed doors. He's shifting and moving things accordingly. Hold on one second. All right. So back to the business at hand, y'all. Just had to pass a message along. But Daniel 2, let's read Daniel 2, because this is what we're in the midst of seeing right now. The Most High operating and moving, showing his power, showing that he is the master strategist, chess player, so forth and so on, right? It ain't about your votes. It's not about um, your political affiliations. It's not about political donors and, hedge funds. Control the Most High controls it all. All right. So let's continue with Daniel 2, 20 and 21. It says, Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of Elohim or Yahweh forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. Verse 21. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removed the kings and setteth up kings. So when we're seeing changes of power, changes in governmental structures, we talked about it last week. This election year is not only for America, but multiple countries. I think they said maybe, I don't want to overstep, not 200, but it was around 20. I'm going to lowball it just in case I'm off. 20 or more elections are happening throughout the earth. So there's going to be a changing of the guard in regards to leadership, spirit, direction, objectives, agendas, so forth and so on. There's multiple meetings going on behind closed doors, just like we talked about now. They got the Davos meeting that just happened earlier this week. ELITES meeting. They're discussing everything from war to economics to AI to disease X to you name it. Right. So, I said it last year. 2024 is going to be very interesting for everybody moving around here. Okay. So the Most High is removing and setting up kings. That's going to be happening very much this year. All right. You're going to see different heads of states and countries and being implemented into this whole thing, man, playing major factors with where the world is going towards the end of this year. It says, he giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So everything is in the hands of the Lord. Okay, so when we're seeing all these political adjustments, these elections, everything is happening, know that the Most High is in control of it. Job 31. Job 31. Now let's look at verse 21. And we'll read down. It says, for his eyes are upon the ways of man, and he seeth all his goings. So the Most High, of course, he's watching everything that's happening, anything that we witness, anything that I report on, share with brothers and sisters, anything that you've seen on your own, from video clips to news articles or whatever the case may be as it pertains to world affairs, it's all because the Most High has his eyes upon the ways of man. He's directing. The scriptures even tell us that man doesn't know his own goings, his ways are of the Lord. That's in Proverbs, paraphrase. Right? It says, for his eyes are upon the ways of man. He seeth all his goings. There is no darkness nor shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. See, now when you're talking about judgment, when you're starting to see how the Most High is establishing these things within the earth, you're seeing many things happening, from massive deaths, from various things of cancer, war, fallback from people that got treated for that major flu epidemic. You know what I'm talking about? 3 years ago. There's been a lot of judgment been happening. The Most High said, there's no place you can hide. There's no darkness, no shadow of death where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves. So now we're looking at open fold judgment that the Most High is putting out here on the earth. Right. This is why it's important that, we try to maintain ourselves in the light of Yahweh Shai, staying in light of the law, which is Proverbs 6:23 tells us that the light is the law, right? Because we don't want to be in the works of darkness. We don't need to hide, right? Verse 23, for he will not lay upon man more than right, that he should enter into the judgment with the Most High. So the Most High said he's not going to do nothing that ain't right. He's not going to overly judge. He's not going to, whip you upside the head and do anything that's not more than what's right. Most High is not torturous. He's not, unfair. He said, man, I'm not going to lay on anything that's more than right. So when we're looking at even the judgment of Esau, when he says there shall be none remaining, that they got to be judged, that, Isaiah 14 about we're going to have our oppressors. I don't know why I can't get off the top of my head regarding, and they shall rule over their oppressors in Isaiah 14. I mean, the Most High said, I'm only going to tell you what's right. Revelation 13, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Revelation 2 was it 25, which said it, let me get that, man, because I don't even want to mess it up. I'm over here misquoting and jacking stuff up. Hold on. Why do that when I can just go there? Revelation 2:26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. The Most High said that's only right judgment. It's only right. You understand what I'm saying? The nations have had their chance. They had their rule. You see what happens. You give earth into the hands of the wicked since 331 BC under Alexander the Great. And Edomite rule, you see what's happened within the earth. I don't want to hear about, the technological advancements. Look at the electric cars. Look at what? People with electric cars right now can't even charge their cars, especially if you're living in colder climates. That was great technology. How about all of the medicines and everything? Oh, yeah, they're doing so great. You see all of these fast-tracked big pharma commercials where the guy's talking a mile a minute and the fine small print telling you about all the side effects. Oh, yeah, that's doing great. Remember, last week we just talked about the asthma drug that they got the kids on that's got them seeing hallucinations and committing suicide and doing all kind of madness. Oh yeah, he's done a great thing. Wars all over the place, man. Colonization, destruction of civilizations. Oh, yeah, he's done a great job. It's time for him to be dethroned and moved up out the way. It's only right, thus saith the Lord in Job. Right? So when it comes down to judgment, he says, for he will lay upon man more than right, that he should enter into judgment with the Most High. Verse 24, he shall break into pieces mighty men without number and set others in their stead. See, this is all in regards to the children of Israel being placed in our rightful ownership of the earth. Remember in 2nd Ezra 7, he said he made the earth for our sakes. It's about us being placed in our stead. Jacob is the end of the world. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Everything that we're seeing and witnessing within the earth, man, we have to pray for. We have to acknowledge whether we like it or not, whether we're with it or not, whether we're scared or not. It's all based upon our people being placed back in our rightful stead. The Most High said he's going to break in pieces mighty men. So when you're seeing Iraq, Syria, Palestine, Israel, the United Arab UAE, the United Arab Emirates, Russia, China, Taiwan, North Korea, South Korea, America, all flirting with and actively in war, best believe it's all for us. This is why we just got to read it in Revelation. It said, he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end. Hey, but the damn church, Christian church is talking about it ain't about works. It's about faith. So how are they going to make it to the end? They don't even understand the principle about establishing works. 2nd Ezra 9 tells us by faith and works are the righteous going to be saved. And he that overcometh, which means what? There's going to be stumbling blocks, tribulation. There's going to be a hell on earth that we got to overcome and still keep the works of the Lord all the way to the end. Then we'll be given power over the nations. Then we'll be set in right stead over the nations. We're going to establish the power base within the kingdom, where Christ being the king, right? You got the disciples in Matthew 28:19 telling about the regeneration and ruling over the 12 tribes of Israel, sitting in judgment seats, 144,000, the elect, establishing judgment and righteous rulership and dominion over the earth. All these things come with overcoming and maintaining the works of the Lord until the end. Faith and works, right? Jumping back over here. The Most High said he's going to break in pieces, mighty man. So there's going to be turmoil, death, destruction. Mighty men have to be taken out of power. The Most High said without number. So you're talking about exorbitant amounts of men that are going to be put to death during this World War III. That's why we read, this is going to be like a time like no other. All for replacement. And I ain't talking about churches with replacement theology. Talking about the churches replace Israel. No, we're talking about true replacement. The children of Israel ruling in right stead over the nations, under the law, statutes, and commandments, under the king, Hamashiach Yahushua. All right, let's not get it twisted. Verse 25. Therefore he knoweth their works, and he overturneth them in the night, so that they are destroyed. Remember, the Most High said he's going to work, Yahushua said he's going to come like a thief in the night. So things are all going to come unexpectedly. This is why we always have to be on guard. We have to be in the wisdom, be in the discernment, understanding and knowing what's going on. Sirach 5:15 says that be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. So not knowing is not an excuse. Ignorance is never bliss with the Most High. The Most High said, man, look, I'm setting everything out there in front of you. You've got teachers, you got prophets, you've got established men of understanding, aged men that know what's going on. You better listen to them. You've got the world inside your pockets and in your purses. You got a crystal ball known as a cell phone that's got information on command. There's no reason why anybody should say, I didn't know, I didn't hear about it, I don't know what's going on. All I know is, the price of an eighth of weed. What? Come on, man. Don't get so caught up in the entertainment news. Oh, everybody's still talking Cat Williams. Okay, that was cool. Cat Williams did his thing, but that's kind of past now. We got to move on. All right. Continuing on, it says, he striketh them as wicked men in the open sight of others. So if you're wondering if the revolution is going to be televised, hey, it's going to be televised. The Most High just told us. He striketh them as wicked men in the open sight of others. It's not going to be some, I didn't hear about the bombing. What? You might be in the midst of it. We might be in the midst of it. If not shielded and protected by the Most High. Collateral damage. You understand? That's where the 2/3 comes into play. Not only through their own willful acts of wickedness and refusal to change, but collateral damage comes right along with that. Getting destroyed right along with them. Okay? Continued on, it says, because they turned back from him and would not consider any of his ways. So when it comes to the Most High said, man, even favor will be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness in Isaiah. Let me get that. Here we go. Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. So you can't say that the Most High is not fair. The Most High said, man, I'll even give favor to the wicked, man. Not only wicked Israel, I'll give you an opportunity. 2/3, all Israel's going to have an opportunity to repent, to learn the righteous ways of the Most High, to change their ways, and to be right examples for the rest. Everybody's going to have opportunity. It's not going to be no, I didn't know, I never heard. What? Every time, I always like to try to make it a point. Whenever I'm out teaching, man, and we're on the streets, I always want to make sure that I'm holding somebody accountable. I'll yell out to the people. If you love Christ, honk your horn. And there might be 1 or 2 people that will honk their horn in the midst of 20, 30 cars sitting in the damn traffic. That's how you hold them accountable, right? You've got the internet now. I mean, there's plenty of brothers in camps going viral with information, with street teachings, with, viral moments between confrontations. People can't say they ain't never seen, never heard. You've got worldwide exposure from the exposures that the Most High utilized from Kyrie, that all of us capitalized on, to Kanye, all of us capitalized on, from the Israel-Palestine conflict, all of us capitalized on, all of the interactions we have with the churches and the Christians. So people can't say they ain't never seen or heard about Israelite. From when Kendrick Lamar was saying he was an Israelite, that brought plenty of attention to the Israelites. Man, the Most High said, man, look, everybody's going to have opportunity, and favor is going to be shown. The Most High said, I'm going to give you a chance to repent. Look, even the so-called white man, he could gracefully bow out and say, you know what, I'm just like old Pharaoh. I'm wicked. Me and my people are wicked. And the Lord Yahweh, your power is righteous. Please have him, withdraw his judgment. It ain't going to work, but the Most High said everybody's still going to have opportunity. Favor can be shown to the wicked, but they will not learn righteousness, man. They won't give up the power. They won't give up their authority. Won't give up their influence. Won't give up the lies and the information that they constantly flood us with. 2/3 of our people will refuse to repent. See, he says, in the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. So when the wicked are in authority, as in the scriptures and Proverbs say, the people mourn. But when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. That's what we're witnessing right now. So in the land of uprightness, we're getting dealt with unjustly, and they won't behold the majesty of the Most High. We're going to see about that a little bit later, right? But Job is being clear. Verse 27, back to Job 34. Because they turned back from him and would not consider any of his ways. So this is why the Most High has to bring judgment upon the earth. Verse 28, so that they cause the cry of the poor to come unto him, and he heareth the cry of the afflicted. See, this is how we know that the righteous are being sealed, that the right men and women of the Lord and the children of the Most High, man, are coming back to him, crying and pleading for justice, crying and pleading for change, crying and pleading for repentance, crying and pleading for justice in the earth, right? The cry of the poor has come unto him. He heareth the cry of the afflicted. Now the Most High, remember Deuteronomy, what is it, 32? No, Deuteronomy, I think it's 30 and 21. The Most High said he's going to turn his back on us. He'll see what our end shall be. Now the Most High is open to hearing us. No, not 30. Might be lucky. Is it 32? Let me see. Why is my thing not working? Yeah, 32. See, Deuteronomy 32:20 says, and he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be, for they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. So the Most High turned his back on the children of Israel because why? We unmindfully forgot about the rock of our salvation, gave no thought, no adherence to the ways of the Most High. We provoked them to jealousy. We started choosing to follow after other gods. We got vain within our own ways and our own ways, right? So the Most High said, man, I'm done with them. I'm turning my face on them, man. They're going to see what it is to be without me. Forward generation, children in whom is no faith, right? But now we're seeing in Job that the Most High said, well, now I'm open to hearing the cries of the afflicted. So while the ears of the Lord is being opened up, and Yahweh Shai being our mediator to take that intercession of prayer, of crying, of affliction to him, pleading the cause. You got the angels out there documenting, noting, reporting back to the Most High. The Most High said, well, what are they talking about now? Okay, it's been a while, man. I done afflicted them. 1,000 years is a day to the Lord. So he's like, it's been a day. Let me hear what's going on. Are they ready? Yeah, Father, they pleading, they're crying, they're being sealed, they're waking up, they're repenting. Yet they're gathering themselves together. Albeit they still got fractures within them, but it's okay. Isaiah, what is it? 52:8 says we're all going to see eye to eye in the day of the Lord. So this okay. And there might be a little fraction, but they all agree, or at least the majority of them agree, that to fear you and to keep your commandments. You understand what I'm saying? The the other non-salvational doctrinal things, those things can be worked out. But the Most High said, man, he's open. He's hearing the cries of the afflicted now. Now is the time to repent. Now is the time, like Romans tells us, now is high time to wake out of sleep. Romans 13 and 11. Let's read that one real quick. Romans 13 and 11. Well, let's read 10 and 11. It says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. So we should all know that. We're being clear about that. Love is keeping the commandments, right? It says, and that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. This is the path that we're on. Now it's time to wake up. Salvation is on the table. It's time to come up out of the slumbers and the sleeps of ignorance and willful sin and so forth and so on. No, now is the time to wake up. The Most High is listening. Judgment is being placed all throughout the earth. We're seeing it. Let's get back over here to Job and we'll finish this up. It says, when he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only, right? So this is how the Most High is doing. He said, man, who can stop him? If the Most High gives quietness, who's gonna stir things up? If he hides his face, who can say that they found the Most High? So he does that to nations, or he could do it to man. It said it doesn't matter. That the hypocrite reign not, lest the people be ensnared. So the rule of the hypocrites, man, is out of here, man. When the so-called white man says, in God we trust, we know he's a hypocrite. We know that he's a liar. So his reign must end. The rest of the nations that's running around talking about how they're like Russia. Oh, we're conservative values, and we believe in God over here and Orthodox Christianity. Man, all that's lies. They've got they've got icons of our people, man, throughout the Russian museums and the books. Still won't acknowledge us as being the people. So listen, man, they got to get up out of here. All right. Let me give them Psalms 113. Psalm 113, 7 and 8 says, he raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth the needy out of the dunghill. So this is what's happening to us, man. We're being raised up out of the dust being of ignorance, the dust being of unrighteousness, the dust being sin, right? We're coming up out of those things, man. We're dusting ourselves off. We're putting on clean white garments, man. We're putting on the garments of righteousness now. And lifted the needy out of the dunghill. So when we always, I always make the comparison, saying, man, really, who's in need of being saved? You think Jeff Bezos, man, really fears the Most High and is ready for his kingdom to come crashing down, waiting for Christ to come back and redeem him, to take him to heaven? If you leave it to the ways of Christianity, you think he's waiting on that? Think Bill Gates is waiting on that? You think TD Fakes is out there, with all his scandal and everything else, man? I think they did somebody did a they do like Forbes list of rich. He's top. I know he's like top 10, maybe top 5 richest pastors out there. His value is worth over 20 million. Cash Flow Dollar, him and Taffy Dollar, they're in the top 10. What's his name? Joel Osteen. He's like top 3. That dude damn near worth 100 million. You think they're really praying and asking the Most High to bring judgment and Yahushua to crack the skies, man, to come in and save the saints of the Lord? You think they're really waiting on that? Or they established their kingdom on earth right now amongst the wicked? They're not the poor, they're not the needy, man. And all of their followers are sitting up in there thinking like they're being led it. Wolves in sheep clothing at its finest. Who really needs to be saved, man? It's the poor, the forgotten, the downtrodden, the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, man, living in the shanty towns and in the barrios and in the ghettos throughout the four corners of the earth. That's been victimized through slavery, colonization, changing of names, places, putting our children into um, uh, not only from the slave auctions, but we've seen them being put into the adoption agencies at the highest rates, abortions, last hired, first fired. I mean, we know all of the issues of the oppressed that we've gone through. That's who needs to be brought about the dunghills, man. That's who needs salvation. Verse 8, it says that he may set him with princes, even with the princes of the people. See, we need to be put back into our righteous place. And that's what this is all about. One more. Revelation 16. So let's look at that real quick. Revelation 16. 12, right? So we're seeing and understanding all the warfare that's happening right now is happening over there in the so-called Middle East, right? It hasn't reached the shores of the West yet. Even the fact that America is over there in the Middle East, getting bombed in Iraq, is very telling, right? So we've got here verse 12, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up. Everybody's seen by now that the Euphrates is completely dried up, man. The resources, the water, the methods of travel, is pretty much a wrap, right? So this is being fulfilled. The angel already came out, poured out his vial. That prophecy's been fulfilled. The Euphrates is dried up. But what does that lead to? That the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. We're the kings of the east. We've talked about that before, right? The kings of the east being all of the kings of the Middle East, the kings of the Southeast, and the kings of the Far East being what? China, Taiwan, North Korea, all of them nations, man, they're all in the Far East. They're all coming to power. Eastern Europe, Russia, and its particular allies, they're all aligning themselves up. The Middle East, you got Iran, you got Iraq, you got Syria, all of them are what? Being prepared for warfare. So the thing that we notice is, okay, once the Euphrates dries up, warfare should be next. And we're seeing all of the kings of the east being prepared for war and actually engaging in war. Verse 13, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So what we're going to see next is unclean spirits. We're not talking literal frogs. We're talking about spirits that's going to be coming out the mouth of the dragon. The dragon being what? The beast, Satan, Esau, right? All the conglomerates of the so-called white man, the red dragon of Revelation 12, spirits of frogs. Well, how do frogs attract, grab, catch their prey, utilizing their tongues, sticking to them, reeling them in, right? You see the frog sitting down, he lashes his tongue out, catches a fly, pulls him in. The damn fly that wasn't paying attention, the grasshopper that wasn't paying attention, getting sucked in. And they're going to be prophesying lies. Deception is going to come out the mouth of the false prophet, meaning what? All of his indoctrinations through religious means, scientific, technological means. These are all things that he tries to sit back and say, these are all things that are going to be happening in verse 4, meaning we're working miracles. Verse 14, it says, for they are the spirits of devils. What? Deception. Notice now, it's very interesting that in 2024, this is the year of elections. This is when you hear the most mudslinging, the most lies being told, the most coercion, the most means of seduction that's coming out, working miracles. Oh, all of a sudden we've got disease X on deck. Guess what's going to have to come with that? A new miracle cure. Oh, we've seen miracles with AI and advancements of AI and technology and everything else. See, these are all methods that they're going to be utilizing between here and all the way until this whole thing is said and done with, that are going to be coming up out of the mouth of the beast, the mouth of the false prophet, and it's all going to be stemming from the dragon, meaning the so-called white man and his rulership throne, the beast system. right? They're gonna be coming out working miracles. We're gonna see, even Revelation 13 tell you that a miracle, one of the miracles was they're gonna show fire from the sky, and all the nations gonna behold it. So what was that? That was the bombs, the Hiroshima bomb, Nagasaki bomb, the hydrogen bombs, right? We're gonna see all them things kicking in. Nuclear warfare, all the imaginations of men coming to fruition, right? Working miracles was go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of the power almighty, right? Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. What is that? Keeping your righteousness. Blessed is he that watcheth, right? So we have to always be aware. This is why the whole inception of DSTM, before I was even on the internet, I was doing it. Before YouTube and all of it, right? Blessed is he that watcheth, keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So you be exposed for your sins, your unrighteousness, not walking in alignment with the commandments. You will get destroyed. That's why Yahushua said that he's going to come as a thief in the night. Strong man's going to wake up in the middle of the night. He's going to take care of his home. But the man that sleep, house is going to be overthrown, ramshacked, destroyed. Right? Verse 16, it says, and he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, right? So looking at even Armageddon, we're going to look at this real quick. It goes back to the Hebrew. Magadad, which is Megiddo, right? And even Esau, man, he had a I remember this back in the late 90s. He had I can't remember if it was FBI, CIA, one of the two. They had a thing called Project Megiddo. Project Megiddo was Project Megiddo was a program that they had that was supposed to keep watch for quote unquote extremist activity leading up to the year 2000 and Y2K, and they had the so-called Black Hebrew Israelites under watch and infiltration. Come on now. And listed as a terrorist group. So you see here, and I remember when we watched that when we first seen it, man, we was like, oh snap, man, we made it. Like they really out here got us on the FBI watch list. And the DOJ. You ain't heard about it, but you see here, Project Megiddo, right? And you see here, they even got it in damn Wikipedia. The Hebrew word Armageddon means hill of Megiddo, right? And this is meaning the hill, meaning like a hill or a hill of troops or soldiers or whatnot. And Megiddo is the which we're going to see in a second. I'm trying to see what they had it as. They were talking about all the radical extremists, but I know they had Black Hebrew Israelites on here somewhere. Oh yeah, here it goes. It's at the damn top. I'll pass it up. But you see here, yeah, it was in '99. The report named followers of white supremacy, Christian identity, and American militia movement, and Black Hebrew Israelites, and apocalyptic cults as potential terrorists who might become violent in reaction to the new millennium. Yeah, so they had us on the FBI watch list, Department of Justice, and all of that, man, under Project Megiddo, all leading towards what was looked at as the Y2K situation. You know, for those that remember that was of age, there were certain prophecies that came out that wasn't solid, that came out that were talking about, you know, the end of the world is going to be in 2000. Then you had those that were talking about the technological aspects of Y2K. All the computers and everything is going to get shut down in 2000 because they wasn't programmed to rotate over to the new millennial. So people's expecting chaos and all of that. We didn't teach that regarding, you know, the end of the world was going to happen in 2000. Christ would come back in 2000. We didn't teach that, but you know, more prominent. There was a couple more prominent camps at the time that was teaching that. I'm sure y'all know about it. But nonetheless, that's what prompted Project Megiddo. And best believe, Project Megiddo is still in effect. COINTELPRO ain't been buried. They still got Israelites under surveillance, watching. They've got implants within camps. Best believe they got spies. They've got undercover agents running around talking about shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, sis. Hey, could be a sister. Shalom, brother. Watching, observing, documenting, undercover, man. Best believe. This so-called white man can't do that without infiltration. You understand? But getting down to Megiddo, one thing I just wanted to show you, moving in the spirit, right? Where is the conflicts taking place right now that's ignited greater wars in the Middle East? Was it the Ukraine-Russia war that got all the other nations, man, really riled up over there in the Middle East? Or was it, a place in Palestine that got all these other nations riled up? The kings of the East now preparing themselves. There's got a greater scale of World War III being talked about amongst the NATO nations. I leave that to you to decide, right? But remember, it's all going to get sparked unto this particular point. We're talking about Armageddon, okay? So when we're seeing all these nations come together and we're getting it all together, this is what we know. I don't know what you're talking about. You said family filling in the bathtub water, rushing. Oh, yeah. Maybe made a couple of typos on there, Bayan. I'm missing it. Family filling the bathtub with water and rushing home before midnight. Oh, rushing home. Okay, I didn't get it. But I got you, bro. Let's get to the meat of the matter, man. Let's get to the meat of the matter. All right. Yeah, facts though. Thinking and prepared, getting ready. They ain't going down. All right, so here we see it here. Stark warning: Britain facing wars in Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea in 5 years. Now, notice this, right? It says within 5 years. We're gonna see another report, man. They're talking about 30 years. No, 20 years, I believe. They said 20 years. This is how we see. I'm gonna look at this one first. This is how you see the deception that the so-called white man is under. He's trying to throw everybody off a little bit. Which is it? Is it 20? Is it 30? Is it Great Britain, which is a figurehead within NATO, which is under the guise of the beast system and one of the 7 horns or 7 crowns of Revelation, right? Be it Revelation, 12, 13, 17, right? They're all involved in this at the highest levels. According to their estimations, they're talking about major war with multiple countries: Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, within 5 years. So before 2030, they're talking about complete war. In a major speech at Lancaster House in London, he urged now Mr. Shapps, he's with part of their parliament, right? But let me just read this. Warren's grant, okay, Stark warning: Britain facing wars in Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea in 5 years as world in, quote, pre-war phase. It didn't say Great Britain is in pre-war phase. It says the world is. Pre-war, preparations for war. Everybody's in that phase right now. Warren's Grant Shapps. Mr. Shapps was unable to say when the government would hit its target of spending 2.5% of the GDP on defense, but would strive to reach it as soon as possible. See, they're trying to scramble to get their budgets together for war. America just avoided their government shutdown by pre-approving the budget to try to make sure that they plug up the holes that's in the American economy until I think they got it the budget set up until April, I believe. Right. Then they got to go back all over it again. They can't make a complete budget for the next year, 2 years, 3 years. They ain't got it. They ain't got it. Right. And they're damn near on the verge of booting old boy that took McCarthy's place out of there because they don't even like what he's doing. But they're trying to just go along to get along, man. They got the military spending bill lined up, managed to get some more money out there to Ukraine and to Israel and so forth and so on. So the warmongering is still going to continue. Britain is saying we got to get our defense spending bill all under wraps as soon as possible. So in a major speech at Lancaster House in London, he urged Britain and its allies to ramp up defense spending, insisting, quote, the era of peace dividend is over. Is over. The era of the peace dividend is over. Make that as you will, right? The most I said, as soon as I screamed peace, peace, sudden destruction happened. When we keep talking about, well, pray for peace, pray for Palestine, put the guns down, stop the genocide, all that is in vain. World leaders are saying, man, the time and the era of peace, that's over with. Ecclesiastes 3 tells us it's a time for war, it's a time for peace. Well, guess what time we're in right now? You guessed it, and they know it. He added, in 5 years' time, we could be looking at multiple theaters involving Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. Number one, Great Britain can't face Russia by themselves. One bomb, Great Britain's out of here. This is why they made sure that they've latched onto the teat of the great whore known as America and NATO to make sure that they've got backing when it's all said and done, right? Continuing on, he said the Ukraine war had put the future of the world at stake. China was watching to see if the West lost patience if he had it, right? So we're seeing all of these things, right? Now he's saying in 5 years. Look what they're saying. NATO warns of all-out war with Russia in the next 20 years. So boom, it's official. It is official. But see, they throw out the deception saying as if Great Britain isn't a mouthpiece of NATO. As if Great Britain isn't involved in the inner workings of NATO. They're throwing out the misdirection of, it's 20 years, just to ease the paranoia of the people. Don't tell them it's really 5 years, which could be sooner than that. Don't say that. Tell them 20 years, keep them calm because we don't need all hell breaking loose, panic buying, we don't need everybody moving up out of here. We don't need the influx. They ain't trying to do that, right? But what the hell do they know when it comes down to judgment? They don't know a darn thing. A darn thing. Because what? Yahweh even told us in Matthew 24. Yahweh, what did he say? Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So Yahweh even said, that there is going to be such tribulation so great, man, that we won't be able to account for it historically. You could talk about World War II, World War I, the Korean War. You could talk about the Spanish-American War. You could talk about the French-American War. You could talk about whatever you want to. The Diadochi Wars under the Greeks. You could talk about it. It doesn't even matter, man. There's not going to be an accounting that we can attribute to what we're getting ready to fall into. But what's going to happen? Through the grace and mercies of the Most High via Yahweh Shai, verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. If all hell was to go in the direction that the so-called white man and these leaders wanted to go, nobody be saved, man. They will destroy and incinerate every soul on this earth if they had to. You're talking about complete nuclear Armageddon, everything would be gone. Thankfully, through the scriptures, man, we see only America is going to be incinerated. That's for sure. Various parts of the earth is going to be incinerated. right? But it's going to need to be rebuilt. And that's what we're going to have our slaves for, right? But it said, except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. So here we're talking about all-out war with NATO and Russia and its allies in 20 years. Yahweh Shah said, well, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. How are you putting a time frame on it? Because he said, I'm even going to shorten that time. Why? Verse continuing 22, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. Why? Because the elect are being sealed and we're ready for our kingdom. Lord willing. No flesh is going to be saved. So they're putting a patent. They're talking 5 years, 20 years. It could be 2, could be 3, could be 1, could be 6 months. Could be 10. See, this is why the fear of the Lord is so important, because Yahweh Shai said that no man knows the day, not the angels of heaven, not even him, but his Father in heaven knows. When it's go time, that's all they're waiting on is, oh, when is it time to go? It's on. We're out. Let's go. Judgment is on deck, right? That's what we're waiting on. So they're throwing out these numbers and years and time frames that aren't even accurate according to the scriptures, because we already see clearly that there's contradictions between NATO and Great Britain. Because look, if Great Britain was to go to war within 5 years, NATO has to join in under the Article 5 agreement that they have, right? So NATO can say 20 years. They're saying, Britain's saying, look, we're under duress over here. We saying 5 years. Yahweh Shah said, all I know is the time's going to be cut short for the elect's sake. So whatever they're talking about doesn't even matter. We can't even tiptoe around or throwing out there, because, you know, at any minute, man, that's how Israel is. If Israel was to know exactly when, we will wait till the last minute to get right. Oh, 2027? Man, I got 2 more years, man, to act the damn fool, man. Probably around, 2026, summertime, I'm going to repent. That'll give me at least a good 6 months to get right, because 2027, the Lord's going to return, and then maybe he'll have favor on me. And no. The Most High said, man, I know the hearts of the stiff-necked, wicked, evil generation. Hypocrites that honor me with their lips, but the heart is far from me. I'm not doing that. We're not going to know. The one thing that we do know, the only thing he said they should know is to fear me and keep the commandments. NATO warns of all-out war with Russia in the next 20 years. Civilians must prepare. Hello? My man Ali Kabar put a comment in there, and I'm about to post it, because what did he just read? They said what? He says, Khan, if you ain't been preparing, better start this Sunday. It's going down. I agree. Because what are the nations telling their people? Civilians. They didn't say, reservists and troops and everybody else. Civilians must prepare for all-out war with Russia in the next 20 years. A top NATO military official has warned. So what are they talking about? That means they're talking about drafts. They're talking about your emergency preparations, be it food, water, electricity, all those particular things. They remember, what was it, a year or 2 ago? What part of the national emergency program that they had in America was giving out bug out bags, trying to get everybody to say, hey, better make sure that you got some of the essentials of life. And don't get me wrong, we know our faith is completely solid in the Most High, and he'll preserve, just as he promised, that his servants is going to eat and drink, so forth and so on, right? But you got to look at it from a balanced perspective. When the Most High told Joseph, you're going to have 7 years of famine, 7 years of plenty, what did Joseph do? He took that wisdom, took that understanding, and said, look, it's coming down the pipeline. Prepare, store up, right? Yahweh Shai telling us famine, pestilence, plague, all that's coming down the pipeline. Should we just blindly just be like, oh, that's great to know, I ain't worried about it? Well, why tell us if we didn't need to be concerned about it? Not to say that we don't put your faith in your goods and all the other stuff, but it's good to have just in case. You may not be around your stuff. Then you really going to have to rely on the Lord. That's why your faith, my faith, is still going to be important. But even if it ain't because of war, it could be because you lost your job. Your wife got laid off. You ain't got the money to go out there and grocery shop like you used to. But guess what? You still got some you got some beans, you got some rice, you got some dehydrated foods. You got some stuff that you can actually back up on when the baby's just crying and talking about what we gonna eat. You ain't got to worry about that grocery bill, because guess what? We got some food here, man. We're gonna be all right for the next couple of weeks. I got an interview coming up. You understand what I'm saying? That's the wisdom that we're talking about in preparations. You got California earthquakes and all this other stuff, man. Many of our brothers and sisters out there are experiencing these harsh weather conditions, power outages, so forth and so on, man. Our brothers up there in the Pacific Northwest dealing with 15 and 12 degrees, power outages going out, man. If UCL and brothers wasn't prepared, man, they'd be jacked up. But guess what? All praise to the Most High, utilizing the wisdom, man, and the instruction. They were prepared, and they ain't worried about it. They seen their way through and continue to see their way through. So we ain't talking about, oh, you can prepare for the day of the Lord and you can store up and you're going to be all right. No. This could be for any reason. Economic collapse. It could be because you lost a job. It could be because of a environmental disaster. You ain't worried about, am I going to freeze? Oh, we've got a couple of things that can, back up some heat in the house. Energy, power, those type of things. Wisdom, man. Scriptures tell you, man, wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of your times. Unfortunately, if you wait until the last minute, like now, everything's expensive. Things is hard to get, come by. You slowly but surely getting yourself together. It's just things that you're going to have to make sure that you've got, whether it's candles, batteries, flashlights, old school stuff, like, make sure you got some things on hand, man. Don't get caught out there talking about, that old Christian proverb, man stranded on the island, boat comes, helicopter comes, plane comes, everybody saying, hey, you need a ride, you need to get up off of here. Nope, the Lord's going to give me. The Lord's going to give me. And then when you die and you say, and you ask the Lord, well, how come you didn't save me? He said, damn, I didn't send a car, boat. I sent a boat, plane, a rescue team, everybody. You turned everything down. I gave you wisdom and understanding. I gave you outs to sustain and get right, but you figured it was going to happen some other way. So Most High give us wisdom and discernment, man, for a reason. If you're thinking about it, you might want to put a little bit more urgency on it, because look, even the world leaders, man, they're telling their people, man, civilians must prepare for all our war. All of the other nations, man, they're telling their people, man, make sure you get prepared, because we could have real issues, societal collapse, when and if it's all said and done. You understand what I'm saying? So keep those things in mind. Continuing on, it says, while armed forces are primed for the outbreak of war, private citizens need to be ready for a conflict that will require wholesale changes in their lives. Admiral Rob Bauer said on Thursday, large numbers of civilians need to be mobilized in case of the outbreak of war, and governments should put in place systems to manage the process. Admiral Bauer told reporters after meeting of NATO's defense chiefs in Brussels. So they're saying that, look, civilians need to be prepared to be mobilized, meaning what? To get up out of their comfort zones in the event that a war or outbreak comes in, right? We have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why NATO forces, are preparing for conflict with Russia. So they ain't hiding it. They're being transparent. They're saying, look, we're not going to act like we're at peace right now. We're directly involved with beef with Russia. It could go down at any particular point in time. Right now, we're saying 20 years, but it could be sooner than that. They're telling their people, get ready now. Why would, if you don't think it's going to happen sooner, why are you telling everybody to get prepared 20 years in advance? I mean, the average Joe Schmo would be like, 20 years? I got time. I'm cool. I'll wait till the last 5 years. They're telling people there's 20 years. Get prepared 20 years in advance, man. Even store foods, man. Some stuff only the max is like 20, 25 years. You telling people get it now. By the time it all hits the fan, some of the stuff they got is gonna be expired and jacked up. So why are you telling them now? They know it's gonna be sooner than that. They know. Here we go. NATO prepares for Putin. 90,000 troops are called up for the alliance's largest military exercise for decades that will run for 4 months. So they're running the Operation Steadfast Defender. I think I remember talking about this last year, maybe around August, July, that they were getting ready to run their largest military operation in decades, right? And they were going to start in January. Here they go, making good on it. 90,000 troops getting ready for war with Russia. They've been throwing out the propaganda. They know that the Ukraine war is pretty much a wrap, right? Pretty much a wrap. They're preparing for the next phase, right? So big war drills going on in NATO. They're preparing for war. The Negroes out here preparing, who knows what. Hispanic cats are, they preparing to figure out what their next tattoo is going to be. You dig what I'm saying? Like, our people's priorities are completely twisted. They're preparing for the club tonight. Freezing cold, rain, doesn't matter. My sister gonna go out there and shake them cheeks. Looking for a sucker to, to pick her up. Brother gonna go out there, man, and risk it all. Driving in the weather conditions, sliding all over the place to get to the strip club tonight. That's what they're preparing for. You understand? The world is preparing for war. World War III fears as Xi Jinping purges China's military and brings in generals willing to go to war in a move that could lead Taiwan invasion and drag U.S. into global conflict. Need I say anymore? I mean, it's the devil's in the details, man. World War III fears as Xi Jinping is purging his military. He's getting rid of anybody that ain't with it, anybody that ain't ready to get busy, putting Taiwan on alert, which, because of the U.S. and Taiwan's relationship, is going to bring the U.S. into this conflict. The U.S. is going to be drug into multiple different directions because of it being the head madam, the mother of harlots, right? And their allegiances to all of their particular quote unquote Johns and tricks. They're going to be pulled in multiple directions. That's going to weaken the infrastructure of America, opening it up for attack. Want to know how America's going to get bombed, how things going to happen? That's how. Fears have grown in recent years that China could invade Taiwan. However, China has also been involved in other low-level clashes with its neighbors, including the Philippines and India, both allies of America. So there's multiple ways that America can get drug into this thing. Xi Jinping is purging China's military and bringing in generals willing to go to war in a move that could lead to an invasion of Taiwan and drag the United States into World War III, military analysts have said. So remember, he's purging out. He's saying, if you ain't with it, you can be replaced. I want generals in here who's ready to go to war with America. And remember, 3 months ago, he was just smiling in Slow Biden's face in San Francisco. People was thinking, oh, this might be a new change in relationships between America and China. Looks like they might have had a prosperous meeting. No, when he left, he said, man, I ain't changing about Taiwan. That's still going down. Slow Biden might talk about how they handled the virus situation and all that other stuff. And ain't nothing changed, man. The Chinese leader, seen by many as a dictator, is trying to gain control of the military. Notice how they always say everybody that they got beef with is everybody's a dictator. America's the ones that they want to establish free market and democracy, and leaders that let everybody do what they want to do. And everybody ain't a damn dictator, man. If you really want to think about it, man, America's the one who started embracing aspects of being a dictator. Remember when that thing broke out a few years ago? Your jobs and everything else was being held hostage. You was being told if you can't go here, you can't do that. This came down from the heads. Oh, you can't go to school. Oh, you can't go to the store. You can't go to this place or that place unless you've got proof that you've followed protocol. Make sure you can put that thing on your face. What happened to my body, my choice? Oh, that's out of here. Who's the ones that's filtering out information, telling you what you can and can't say? Or your social media pages could be suspended, stricken, removed. Controlling information, right? The Minister of Information. I mean, the Ministry of Truth is 1984. The book described as the Ministry of Truth is telling you what's true and what isn't. 2 + 2 = 5, not 4. If you don't like that, you can get reprogrammed and get sent to a re-education camp. You know, these are the things that America always tries to throw out there. Oh, we got to get rid of Cesar Chavez down there in Venezuela. He's a dictator. But then you go down there and you really see what's going on, man. The people loved him. America establishing coups. Why? Because Cesar Chavez gave the middle finger to America and the IMF and said, I don't want your help no more. You guys are devils. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, really? Okay, we're going to have to get rid of you then. Throw in a puppet man that's going to follow along with the protocols. Right? So America's always got this particular description that they always have with their opposition. The Chinese leader, seen as many as a dictator, is trying to gain control of the military. Now, whether Xi Jinping is a dictator or not, he probably is. What's that got to do with me? He can impose dictatorships and oppress his people all he wants to. I don't give a damn about what the damn Moabite man is doing to his own people. I'm concerned about me and mine. Right? Trying to gain control of the military. Gordon Chang told Business Insider, adding, I think that he is thinking that he needs officers who are prepared to actually fight. According to Chang, author of China is Going to War, Xi feels that many of China's general officers don't want to fight. As a result, he said, the Chinese premier sees a force led by an officer corps that is ambivalent about going to war. All right, so there we see it. Under attack, U.S. troops injured after a barrage of missiles fired at Iraq's Al-Assad air base as tensions explode in the Middle East. U.S. officials are yet to determine the exact weapons used in the attack. So not only do we see America under attack in the Red Sea, we're seeing America under attack directly on their Air Force bases. What more do we need in order for America to fully engage in a war with Iran? You understand what I'm saying? So war is already on the table, man. It's here. They just don't want worldwide panic to happen. They don't want to just jump out the window and say, you know what, America, we are officially at war again. You know, they're going to try to probably wait until after these elections and they can get, you know, somebody up in there. Now, one thing I will say is if Trump gets elected, which they're trying their damnedest to get him up out of there, this could throw a whole monkey wrench into the game because Trump is against NATO. He's against the World Health Organization. He is which basically is gonna mean he's not gonna he's gonna try to avert dealing with war. He's gonna try to avert dealing with anything that's going on with the WHO, which are all key factors in letting everything, you know, slide out of control. Now, he very well could slide on his stance just like he did with the warp speed and the pokes in the arm. And, you know, he started riding up talking about he wanted to take credit for how, you know, he got the medicine in the arm. He got that out there real fast and he wanted credit for it. So he could very well break and do as the devil does and double back and switch his whole position and really further the war. You know, one thing we do know is he's prideful as hell. And let any of these nations, man, try to impose on his pride go before destruction, he'll go to war. So it's a wild card if he gets in. We know the Democrats, man, they're going to continue on with business as usual. So everything is still going to be under subjection to war, biological issues, so forth and so on. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But one thing we do know is the U.S. is under attack right now, and they're getting hit with barrages of missiles. They're getting shut down over there in the middle in the Red Sea with the Houthis. They got their hands full right now. So sooner or later they're going to come clean and be like, you know what? It's on. We're at war. We got to go. Right? Continuing. Iran hits Pakistan with an airstrike, killing 2 children, at least in the latest escalation of conflict in the region. Tehran carries out an attack as world focuses on Gaza and the Red Sea. So we see these particular nations, Iran, Pakistan, they're going at it. They've been bombing each other back and forth over the last couple of weeks. That aspect of warfare is going on. Christ told us that we're going to have nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom. So holding true to that is definitely going on. The kings of the East being active in war, all that's happening. Continuing on, Pakistan retaliatory strikes in Iran kill at least 9, raising tensions along the border. One thing we know, Pakistan got them nukes. Pakistan got them nukes. Iran is scrambling, trying to get them nukes after they lift. You know, they've been under sanctions regarding military power since I think Obama, maybe since Bush. I know for sure they've been continuing on with them sanctions, but they broke sanctions. I think a year or so ago. They said they needed a year to make a nuke. So we got to see what it is, right? But we see them going to war. Netanyahu furiously hits back at the U.S. for suggesting there must be a Palestine state after the Gaza war, as he warns Biden, don't try to coerce us into endangering Israel. So here we see rebellion coming from Netanyahu and the GMO small hats talking about when the war is over, they're not going to abide by having a 2-state, quote unquote, Israel. They're not going to give a state of sovereignty to the Palestinians so that they can have their own portion and rule over themselves in Israel, or the Israelis having their own. He said he's not having that. They want it all or nothing, right? See, this is why him and his folks over there is living dangerously. And they want complete and utter annihilation and destruction. They ain't trying to negotiate, right? But look at it. Sirach 28 and verse 9. It says, the sinful man disquieteth friends and maketh debate among them that be at peace. So a sinful man is always going to try to rile up his friends, causing dissension, you know, and make a debate among them that be at peace and starting issues where there isn't one. So even when it's a time where they're saying, well, even at a time of peace, war is over with. Let's just go ahead. Y'all go over there. You go over there, man. We'll establish separate rules and sovereignty for both. He's like, hell no. I'm going to make a debate about that. You're not going to coerce us into putting Israel in danger and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, but a sinful man, he's going to disquiet peace. He's going to always want to establish argumentation. He's going to always want to establish his own way. His way, the highway, that type of thing, right? And he's going to make enemies of his friends. Sirach 32:17 says, a sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will. So, I mean, there's no question Netanyahu and his small hat community are involved in manifold sin, you know, and he's going to find an excuse according to his will. So because we know that there's the canals that they want built, they want the oil that's over there, the money is very much part of the equation. The land is very much a part of the equation. The hateful strife that they have amongst the Palestinians, the racial tension that they got, the apartheid system that they got over there, all those things is part of the excuses that he wants to continue on according to his will. So even when and if they were to try to establish peace, he's saying, no, I don't want that. I want to continue on, right? So he's middle fingering America. But guess what? Slow Biden and them still going to send them money. Still going to make sure that they're all right. Still going to provide defenses for them. The relationship between the U.S. and Israel is growing more strained as they clash over key policy demands. The U.S. has called on Israel to scale back their bombardment and begin plans for the post-war landscape. But Netanyahu accused his, quote, American friends of trying to coerce them and said, we will not settle for anything short of an absolute victory. So there you go. There you go. He's not going to stop until he gets his way, he gets destroyed. And it just goes to show you that America, low key, sits back and allows and will fund and will help them accomplish this goal, even though they try to publicly say, hey, we don't really agree with that. But meanwhile, well, then cut off the funds. Break your allegiances with them. They won't listen to you. They ain't gonna do that. New Jersey soldiers prepare for deployment to Syria and Iraq. So if there's any question of whether or not the war is going on, they're already recruiting. They're preparing for deployment out of New Jersey, right? Soldiers from New Jersey are joining the fight against the Islamic militant group in the Middle East. This will be the largest deployment of New Jersey Army National Guard soldiers since 2008. So the spirit of war is in full flare, man. They're deploying soldiers from the U.S. to go over there and fight. They're getting hit with barrages of missiles, man. It's only a matter of time before it really goes full blown. And heavy armaments are getting used. Body counts really start rising up. You know, I don't even know if these numbers is even accurate, man. You know, the media be lying so damn much. How can you have a barrage of missiles and then you say that, you know, U.S. troops get hit, but you don't want to talk about how many died, how many injured? I mean, even with these bombs that's going back and forth between Iran and Pakistan, they're talking about, oh, 2 people died, 9 people died. I mean, you're talking about utilizing major forms of weaponry and destroying key parts of infrastructure and all that, and only 2 people are dying? Like, I don't know about that. I don't know. But let's continue. Zelensky lands in Davos to pitch a peace plan Russia already rejected. So Davos is where the world leaders and the elite were meeting. You know, Zelensky's over there trying to talk about peace now, and Russia's already rejected that. So there is no peace coming. We just got to seeing the leader over there in Brussels. He said, look, the time for peace is over with. Right? So he's going to suck it up, accept defeat, get destroyed over there, man, and then prepare for World War III. That's where we at. Continuing on. Shell suspends all Red Sea shipments after Houthi attacks on tankers. So Shell Gas, British oil company, they're suspending all their shipments coming through the Red Sea. So what's that going to be? What's that going to mean for overall oil production, cars, gas prices, so forth and so on, that are getting it over there in Africa and in Europe? Yeah, best believe it's going to go up. The British oil giant today declined to comment on the report by the Wall Street Journal, which cited insiders who stated that the suspension was indefinite. The tanker chartered by Shell and carrying Indian jet fuel was last month targeted by the Houthis. The vessel was attacked by a drone and harassed by small boats. The Houthis, Iran-backed Islamist militants who control Yemen, have stepped up attacks on cargo military vessels in the Red Sea amid the Israel-Hamas war. So we talked about that last week, the effects that is happening in the Red Sea with the shipments that's coming through from the oil, from the food, from various other supplies of livelihood. It's getting delayed in shipments, not making it through. It's increasing the insurance costs for these ships. It's increasing the gas cost by $1 million for them having to reroute their shipments. So it's showing a complete collapse of society over there, of what necessities of goods is happening over there. So Shell, the British oil giant, same one that you go pump your gas up at, you know, you just seen it here. Indian jet fuel for planes, trains, automobile, not trains, but at least planes and automobiles, man. Anybody's getting their oil from Shell, that's out of here. And they said that their suspension is indefinite. So that's going to have major impacts in the economic fields and in the supply chains. So we'll see how that pans out. Uh-oh. Getting to the meat of the matter, man. Many of y'all know, many of y'all seen this. And I'm trying to tell you, man, I've been looking and I know I covered it, man. And some of y'all may remember, some of y'all may not. But there was an article I covered, man, earlier last year, and it said that Chinese scientists was in the lab and they were examining and creating at least 8 new viral strands. Let's say I'm trying to keep it as PC as I can with these damn bastards. But anyway, here they come. Chinese scientists create a mutant C virus strain that attacks the brain and has a 100% kill rate in mice. As they admit, there's a risk it spills over to humans. Going back to the first time that C virus was out, where did it come from? Now they're saying, oh, it did come from this lab over there. Where are they saying that now? They're allowing these damn Moabites and these gooks over there, man, drumming up new weapons of warfare in their laboratories. Why are the elites meeting talking about how we're going to utilize disease X and up? Very interesting timing. 8 rodents infected with the pathogen surprisingly died within 8 days. Critics of the study said this madness must be stopped before it's too late. Moab is in. Look, man, we've covered this scripture before. I'm gonna go there real quick. Look, this is why Moab is going to be judged, and they got to get hit upside the head too. Look at this. 2 Ezra 15:46 says, "And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon." How are they a partaker of the hope of Babylon? China gets used as a petri dish, man, for America. They are the arm of disease, infections, population control, social experimentation, all that. They're the ones that America utilizes and says, here, we're going to use you to see if how the public reacts to this particular experiment, this social experiment, this, that, and the third. Because of the fact that they are under what would be considered as a dictatorship, they got what's known as the one child. They used to have the one child policy. They just broke that off because their population is dwindling. China was under, you can only have one child. You know, they was under massive population control over there, bubbling up biological agents. And then guess what? It gets released out to the world. But who are they in alignment with? Where was the funding coming from that they were getting over there in that Wuhan lab? Follow the money, you'll know. It led back to Esau over here. So as much as we hear about, you know, the warfare between China and America, China is going to, right now, they're still partakers in the hope of Babylon. They're still partakers in helping Babylon. Right? And it says, and art the glory of her person. Man, they want to be like the so-called white. See, I'm gonna just stop there, but because we've read this before. But here we see the arm of America when it comes down to bubbling up biological warfare and agents and all that other stuff. But guess what they're still doing? They're talking about this mad. Critics of the study talking about the madness must stop. They should have been stopped it after the first one. Did they stop it? No. Full speed ahead, right? They're over there bubbling up things that can kill you in 8 days. If they tell them stop, hold on. Pack that in the cryogenic freezer, freeze that up. We're not letting that out. No, they ain't doing that. They're going to utilize these things, man, as means of control. Chinese scientists have been experimenting with the mutant C virus strand that is 100% lethal in mice, despite concerns such research could spark another pandemic. Scientists in Beijing who are linked to the Chinese military cloned a DVOC-like virus found in pangolins known as GX_P2V and used it to infect mice. The mice have been humanized, meaning they were engineered to express a protein found in people with the goal of being the goal being to assess how the virus might react in humans. Here they are. You create a mutant strand, right? Then you quote unquote give proteins, human proteins to mice to experiment to see what's going to happen if this virus hits humans. That should only tell you, man, that the overall goal is to get to humans. What else could there be? You create a virus, then you say, now I want to see what's going to happen if it gets on people. Well, what's the next phase? Oh, it killed the mice within 8 days. So it should do the same thing to humans. Are we going to use it? Are they going to use it? See, all these things line up, right? And then we hear this type of stuff. Let me look at this right here. Let's look at it. As December 1st deadline to reject controversial WHO proposals looms, activists mount global opposition efforts. Global activism against the WHO, or the World Health Organization, proposed pandemic treaty and amendments to its international health regulations is intensifying ahead of December 1st deadline to reject the proposed 2022 IHR amendments. Critics say the proposals boost the WHO's authority, erode national sovereignty, and threaten health freedom. So I'm gonna try to be as censored as I can on this, right? So what we're talking about is there's a pandemic treaty that's set to expire December 1st of this year. They want to that's why the ELITES was meeting in Davos to discuss putting out a new amendment for this pandemic treaty. What does this mean? This is talking about when and if there's a quote unquote pandemic, how much control, how much authority will the World Health Organization have over governments, nations, so forth and so on? Will they be given complete control over where and how this thing gets regulated and dealt with? Okay. Let me scroll down, Marie, just a little bit. Let's see. Spanish lawyer Luis Pardo is also advocating against the IHR amendments. He told the defender that the 2022 IHR amendments limit the fundamental rights of citizens. So when you hear about, and you remember, we just experienced this over the last 3 years. The WHO comes out and says, close the schools. We can't do this. Put that on your face. Make sure that this is mandatory. We're going to make sure that these particular companies are the ones that we authorize that can give you this this medicine that didn't go through, proper clinical trials, so forth and so on, right? We're going to be the ones that control and say who and how you can fly, you can't travel, you can do. So now you're looking at governments submitting themselves to the WHO saying, well, when and if a pandemic happens, you tell us what to do. You understand? That's why when the last thing was going on, people was wondering, say, well, how the hell, why is the World Health Organization telling us what you can and can't do, man? Where's our government? They already signed an amendment agreement saying that when things hit the fan, they are going to be the ones that's in control. And in those amendments, it's saying it's going to limit the fundamental rights of citizens. So remember that my body, my choice, and that was only for the sodomite community. And people saying, well, how come that doesn't apply to me when it comes down to my choice of whether or not I want to get this thing put inside of me or not? Oh, now we see why. Direct attack on freedom and health sovereignty. According to Dr. Merrill Nass, an internist, biological warfare epidemiologist, and member of the Children's Health Defense Scientific Advisory Committee, the IHR amendments and pandemic agreement will lead to, quote, the build out of a massive and expansive global biosecurity system. We've talked about that, right? Have we not? What's biosecurity system? What's biometrics? What comes down to matching your identity with a particular system, saying that you're following along protocol? Remember the World ID we talked about? Remember all of that stuff, Agenda 2030? But they need a reason to enact these things. You can't get this control. You can't get these things on the table. You can't get governments to cooperate with it unless something is out there that makes everybody say, please help us. What do we need to do? How do we get order? How do we get structure? Oh, you need order. Oh, you out of chaos? Oh, you need a NWO? Okay. We've got that all in alignment. See, Esau, man, he's batting down the hatches, man. He's letting everything go. From war, biological, famine, pestilence, food shortages. Everything's on the table right now. Everything's on the table. Continuing, it says, Nas wrote the negotiations for the 2023 version of the IHR amendments and the pandemic agreement are being held in secret with a view towards considering them for adoption at the World Health Assembly meeting in May 2024. On Substack, Nas wrote that some, quote, items of major concern involving the documents under negotiation include giving the WHO a blank check to create new rules for the future. The development of liability-free VAXs, right? Liability-free, meaning whatever happens to you after you take it, you can't hold them accountable or the creators accountable, so forth and so on. Regardless if you get bad reactions or whatever. Liability-free VAXs, right? At warp speed, the removal of human rights guarantees and increased social media censorship, which means they're going to change what you can and can't say. Don't speak on this. Once this next thing hits, we thought community guidelines was wild before. Wait till they really lock it down. And the Ministry of Truth takes over and says what's true and what isn't, and you can't say this, you can't say that. So you already understand and see where this is going. Okay. Watch this. I think I got this guy. This is Tedros. He's the head of the WHO. This is at their meeting. And he's going to speak about disease X.
In order to have better prepared and to address the disease X is the pandemic agreement. In order to have better prepared and to address the disease X is the pandemic agreement. The pandemic agreement can bring all the experience, all the challenges that we have faced, and all the solutions into one. And that agreement can help us to prepare for the future in a better way, because this is about a common enemy. And without a shared response, starting from the preparedness, we will face the same problem as COVID.
Hold on. Let me cover myself a little bit. Under Section 107 of the 1976 Copyright Agreement, is being used under fair use. Fair use, all right? Even though this is on the public platform on X, I don't want to hear nothing, no problems, no nothing, all right? So here we go. Tedros, which is his first name, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's the head of the WHO. He's talking about that there's a common global interest and a common enemy that's amongst us, or that they need to fight. We need to fight, right? And he's calling it disease X. But let him play one more time.
In order to have better prepared and to address the disease X is the pandemic agreement. The pandemic agreement can bring all the experience, all the challenges that we have faced, and all the solutions into one. And that agreement can help us to prepare for the future in a better way. Because
so he's talking about the pandemic agreement. He said this is going to be something that we can all come together with one consent, with one mind. You understand what I'm saying? To create a solution, so forth and so on, when there's the next pandemic.
This is about a common enemy. And without a shared response, starting from the preparedness, we will face the same problem as COVID. And deadline for the pandemic agreement is May 2024, and member states are negotiating. This is between countries.
May 2024, he says, is the deadline that they got to get this solidified. And he's saying countries out here negotiating, they talking with each other, they trying to figure out, well, what are they going to accept? Are you with this? Are you okay with that? What are y'all saying? Are you going to let them do this? Are you going to do? You understand what I'm saying? This is what they're doing.
And I hope they will deliver this pandemic agreement by that time, on the deadline, because if this generation cannot do it, we're the lived community, we have the first-hand experience, I don't think incoming generation, the next generation will do it. So for our children and grandchildren's sake, I think we have to convert all the lessons we have learned into this pandemic and prepare the world for the future, because this is a common global interest, and national interest, very narrow national interest, should not come into the way. Of course, national interest is natural, but it's the narrow national interest that could be difficult and affecting the negotiations even as we speak. So we're still not prepared, but I think there are many moving parts we have started, good ones, all of us together, that can prepare us better if we focus on the implementation of these initiatives. Thank you, and back to you.
All right, thank
Now there, I thought there was another one where he even said that it's not a matter of if, it's when, and it's pretty much a guarantee that the next one is coming. You understand? That's coming out his mouth. So they're all on one accord saying that disease X is common, is going to be utilized. Everybody's going to be affected by it. We heard Bill Gates come out and say that the next one's going to get everybody's attention. Disease X, he said that is pretty much, I think it said it in that article. Let me see. Because there was another video, but basically he said that disease X isn't new. He said they were using that terminology in the mid 2000s, like 2015, 2016 or something, when anytime they came across a virus, let's just say, call it what it is. Anytime they came across a virus, they wasn't sure what it was or what its effects were, they would call it disease X. So he said in the same interview, he said essentially the DVOG 91 was disease X, or their first experience with disease X. Now he's saying they've already had that terminology established and understood, right? But he said the first time that they actually put it into effect was the DVOG 91. And like I said before, we remember that Bill Gates said that one didn't get that one, we weren't prepared as well as we could be, but the next one's going to really get everybody's attention. So they've been lining this up for a hot minute now. And the first phase was the DVOG 91. Now, the next one, they're already flirting with it, letting everybody know. So once it spills over, remember, just a couple of weeks ago, they were talking about that the new thing that's flooding the hospitals right now is people that got the DVOG plus the flu. And if we remember back when they were really heavy on getting tested for that thing, when you swab your nose and all of that, nobody had the flu. Nobody was talking about the flu no more. Y'all remember that? You may have had to go somewhere. Your job may have made you get tested because you refused to get the Pope and all the other stuff. But every time you got anything happen, man, you sprain your ankle. Oh, you got it. You cracked your toenail. Oop, you got it. No, the flu. Nobody was talking about the flu no more. Now all of a sudden you're getting the flu plus the other thing, right? So somehow that's been dug up out the trash, and they're letting it be known that right now there's a serious strain going on that is bubbling in the lab, can kill you in 8 days, and it could be a wrap. So let's continue on. So they've had the meetings. They already understand. They're saying the nations got to May 2024 to come together on this amendment so they can give complete instruction on how to, quote unquote, organize and control society and prepare everybody for what's to come. Now they said, oh, well, what we did with, the DV 91 situation, oh, we prepared, we did okay, but we really didn't get everything locked in the way we wanted to. So we was thinking that past 3 years, that was tough. That to adjust and to deal with and be frustrated with, and limiting interactions with each other and shutting down this, that, and the third. They said that was all right, but that really wasn't what they were trying to do. So imagine the next go around, really what they're preparing. And they're saying basically, give us complete authority by May of 2024. Let's put it in writing so that we can make sure that we understand where all nations is going to be in alignment with. All right. So look at this. WHO unveils a global police force too. And I'm not going to say this because it could get tagged as, oh, misinformation. Okay. And notice here, it says it's been fact checked. But I'm not going to say it because I know how they do me. So y'all just read along with me. Remember how we used to do the bouncing ball back during the DBOC times? Okay. WHO unveils a global police force to who post independent media online. In a session titled Disease X, WHO Director Tedros told you I struggle with his name. Adhanom Ghebreyesus declared that in order to be better prepared and to quote understand disease X, the WHO's legally binding quote pandemic agreement needs to be adopted by leaders worldwide. The pandemic agreement would grant the WHO unprecedented control over sovereign nations, allowing them to outlaw and for sharing so-called online. Now, this is what he just quoted. This is about a common enemy, Tedros said, adding, quote, without a shared response, we will face the same problem as before. So notice they want to change the directives of what was happening and how they had protocol set up before. So they want even tighter, nooses around the neck. Give us complete control. No, we're not going to allow Texas and Florida and all these other states to jump out and say, well, we ain't doing that. You ain't. They want it all, right? So continuing on, it says, he explained that the deadline for the legislation is May of this year, and member states are negotiating between countries to implement it. This is a common global interest, and very narrow national interest should not come in the way. Don't let your nationalism, don't let your constitution, don't let that get in the way. He continued adding, quote, of course, national interests are natural, but they could be difficult and affect the negotiations. So he wants certain aspects of national law, interest, so forth and so on. Let that move out the way so that we can have complete control. New cancer cases projected to top 2 million, hit record high in 2024. As we've been documenting for the last couple of weeks, man, cancer is at an all-time high right now, new record, topping 2 million. I guarantee you, I know somebody who's either had it, died from it, just got diagnosed from it. I mean, this thing is out of control. We've been conquering. I mean, we've been looking at and contemplating the causes, everything from the food to the technology to the water to the diseases. The medicines as we're being exposed to. Hereditary. It's a plethora of different things going on, man. But it's back up. It's back up. Okay. It said that it was falling in the past. The cancer mortality in the U.S. has fallen over the past 3 decades, but increases in common forms of the disease pose a threat to that progress. The number of new cancer causes in the U.S. is expected to top 2 million for the first time in 2024, based on new research that also points to shifting age patterns among cancer patients and troubling increases in overall cancer incidences among young people younger than 50. So now, like we've been documenting and showing, younger people of younger ages now are getting cancer. You know, it used to be, I mean, we still say right now, people in their 40s, 50s and dying of cancer, you're like, damn, they were young. Because the perception was you had to be older to get it. You had to be older to get it. You dig what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh, 18, 19, 17, 16, 30 getting it. Remember back in the day when it was always, oh, you got cancer? Man, how long we been smoking? We always, you know, it used to be attributed to cigarettes. Now, and it could be from anything. They can say, I don't know where and how you got it. You understand what I'm saying? So we see here, man, it's going down. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. We're getting hit and bombarded from all directions. All directions. Meanwhile, up in Canada, what's going on up there? Look at him. President of Canadian LGBT organization is arrested on child sex abuse charges. Say it ain't so. What? Those loving people, man, in that community, how? No way this happened. All they want to do is just love who they want to love. Oh, including children? Uh-oh. Imagine that. President of the Canadian LGBT organization is arrested on child sex abuse charges. Yet another activist advocate for the LGBT engagement with children has apparently been caught doing a lot more than community outreach. Sean Gravels, an outspoken LGBT activist and president of an LGBT pride organization in Canada called the North Peace Pride Society, has been arrested on multiple charges, including sexual exploitation of a child under the age of 16 and the possession and distribution of child pornography. Sodom and Gomorrah, the spirit, clearly here, right? Another one bites the dust, man. We see the evils that goes on within the spirit of that community. It's all over the place. Just look around. Pedophiles, drag queens, sodomites, what they call them, transmissions now. Transmissions all over the place. I mean, the sexual deviancy, man, and the wickedness goes beyond and above all that we've imagined. Presidents of whole organizations, man, getting caught with their pants down, literally. Have you looked up and seen anything regarding them tunnels, man? You know, that was a hype. That was a thing going on like 2 weeks ago. Last week. Hey, the small hats, man, the GMO folks, they got caught with underground tunnels. What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And then you don't hear nothing else, man. The news is pretty much just kind of backed away. Just, let's leave that alone. You know, got put out there for a good 2 days. It stayed alive because, you know, the Israelite community picked up on it, man. Others have picked up on it. Started utilizing their social media accounts, man, to go on and investigative things. Some people was going off the deep end. Some people was kind of keeping it in straight and narrow and calling a spade a spade. But if you really notice, man, major media wasn't touching it no more. I wonder why. Well, look, they've already pulled the anti-S word card already. So if you speak about them tunnels, man, you're against them. Can you imagine? Look, Jewish man behind the NYC synagogue tunnel viral video thread says the content was flipped for anti-S word propaganda. Can you imagine? So they're saying you didn't see what you saw. The content somehow got flipped into anti-S word propaganda. That's, you know, that's equivalent to, you know, they always talk about black folks pulling the race card. I mean, that anti-S word card is powerful, man. Powerful. They said, man, hold on. Yeah, we got busted crawling up out of manholes. Yeah, we got busted being exposed with these tunnels with bloody mattresses and broken down car seats and strollers down there, man. Dirty rat tunnels. And Yeah, we just got to expose on camera, flipping out, showing riotous behavior against the police, throwing and slamming desks and wilding out. And oh, but no, that got flipped. It wasn't what you saw. You guys flipped that, and you're making it into anti-S-word propaganda. You see the power that they have, man. And you notice most of the media. Just go look it up. Look up and see when was the last investigative story that they did, following up on what was going on with them viral videos. And you tell me if you've seen anything that followed up with true diligence within the last 7-8 days. I just did it yesterday. This is the one thing that popped up. Was that it was you? If these things are being utilized and flipped for anti-S-word propaganda, which pretty much tells all the media, man, fall back, because what they run the media. You see the top here, anti-S-word exposed. So now, if you even talk about them things, man, you're anti-S-word, man. Are you serious? So this is how you know. Hold on, I don't even know if y'all do it. I'm gonna do it real quick. Real quick. Let's see. So we got one day ago. No, New York synagogue tunnel did not connect to a children's museum. Fact check. Okay, so they're addressing fact checking, and it was all in their favor. See here, this is the article I got from Fox. That was 3 days ago. Extremist Jewish teens secretly hired migrants to dig convert Brooklyn synagogue. That was 9 days ago. So we clearly not seeing nothing new. January 11th. Here we are, January 20th. 3 days ago. What we know about the synagogue. And this is another fact check where they're going to back them up. January 9th, January 20th. There's nothing new. Nobody followed up and said, well, hold on. Let's click on news. It goes from order from oldest to newest. We just seen this one. Nope, nothing new. They're getting backed up. This story. No, nothing to see here. No, it didn't lead to a children's museum. It's fine. Here's the one I got. Now this is what they pulled out the anti-S-word card, said back up. Since then, 9 days ago, why a secret synagogue tunnel in New York City destabilized surrounding buildings? Are they talking about infrastructure? They ain't talking about what they was up to. Look at this, man. 11 days ago, 9 days ago, 8 days ago, 11. They done buried it. It was over with. And if you speak about it, they've already put it out there that you're anti-S-word if you mess around and say something. Imagine that. Let's continue. China's population falls for a second straight year as births drop even after ending the one-child policy. So if you want to know who's the prototype for population control, just look at China. Birth rates are dropping. They had the one-child policy. They had to drop that because they seen it. They was not populating. Their numbers is dwindling. So now they said, okay, we know what. No, we want to encourage you because we're taking that off. You can actually have more than one kid now. But America sits back and says, oh, so the medicines worked. The isolation worked. You know, you got from China to Japan, man. They got people over there, man, who were refusing to marry, especially in Japan. Japan is they got man that would rather marry damn virtual reality women and holograms than to actually get a real woman. Moab and Ammon, man, is under complete subjection when it comes down to you want to know the control of population, which we know is part of the program dating all the way back to the Georgia Guidestones that got destroyed, that said that they wanted a population of 500 million. Imagine that. We're at damn near 8 million now. They want it down to 500 million where they can control 500 million is way easier to control than 8 billion, right? So China's establishing how to get to population control. They've got the digital ID system. They got the what do they call it over there? Well, obviously they got the one-child policy. They got all kind of things, man. Sterilization stuff going on, man. Organ harvesting. I mean, and that's a whole nother thing. I gotta talk about that on another DSTM. You know, they found over 200. What was it? Over 200 plus graves in the back of a Alabama. I think it was Alabama penitentiary. If it wasn't Alabama, it was Mississippi. I believe it was Alabama. Alabama penitentiary. 200 unmarked graves, man. They out there burying the bodies, man. They pulling up bodies with no organs going on down there. I mean, this place is unbelievable. It might have been Mississippi, but I'll come back to that on another time. The DSTM, it just popped in my head. But we're seeing China being utilized for the population control, and it's there. All right. Again, being the glory and want to be like Babylon. This is what they want: population control, and China is being shown that it can work. It can work. You know, even Yahushua told us in Matthew 24, man, that iniquity is going to abound and the love of many is going to wax cold. Second Thessalonians tells us about. Second Timothy 3 tells us about perilous times happening. Mexico marks another record-breaking year for murders. I mean, we talk about wars and rumors of wars, man. I never hear anybody mention, outside of myself, and I could be wrong, but I know I always make mention about even the drug wars, the cartel wars. At one point in time, I believe it was from 2006 to 2016, the death toll was at like 60,000 over drugs and the cartel violence. That was back then. Mexico is damn near one of the leaders when it comes down to murders. And most of it is all over drugs and cartel violence. See, for the 6 year running, Mexico registered more than 30,000 murders in 2023. More than 30,000. It said for 6 years straight, they've done that. So do the math. That's well over 180,000 people dying just off of murder in Mexico, marking the most violent period in the country's recent history. Let's compare that to America. We know America is a violent nation. Let's say in 2023, America's murder rate 2023. It's on America's down. That's an ad. Hold on. Let's see. What is that? Crime on the decline, huh? I can't tell. Wow. See, there you go. Let me see it. FBI released national crime stats. The data is horribly incomplete. So they over there covering up numbers, huh? Well, I thought I'd just look and see. In comparison to America, can't find it off the top real quick. So, but that's okay. It's all right. No problem. The biggest story is that we're seeing the violence that's being escalated, the love of many waxing cold, man, the perilous times, the death rates rising, just alone in Mexico, man. Again, 30,000 murders in 2023. And it says this is for the 6 year running. So you're talking about 180,000 people dying just off of murder. We ain't talking about the health scares. We ain't talking about the cancer. We ain't talking about, anything else. So add it up, man. Then you wonder why people is hitting that Rio Grande lake, trying to get up over here, the reservoir, trying to get up over here. Violence has become a central issue in the 2024 general election in June, though voters are not confident that the two leading presidential contenders have a strong plan for cracking down on gang violence. The public is also growing frustrated with government officials concealing murders by reclassifying the deaths as having occurred due to a quote undetermined intention. So it's bad over there, man. It's all bad, right? Look at this. Political assassinations make officials reluctant to tackle drug cartels. So just as we talked about all the time in Second Ezra 15 about there being sedition among men and people not regarding the princes and authority and so forth and so on, man. Now it's getting to the point to where there's political assassinations going on, not only in Mexico, Ecuador, and various other countries where people are not giving a damn, especially these drug cartels, are not willing to go to war with government armies, some of which are already paid off. You know, insurrections are happening all over the place. And you know that America is heavily involved in the drug trade. It's one of the reasons why they had to keep Afghanistan going, because of the poppy fields over there that they were making heroin. You see documented movies and documentaries regarding the Iran-Contra scandal, regarding what's the cat's name, man, that was down there in Colombia. Pablo Escobar and all of them. America's right in the mix with all of them, man. Allowing drugs to get through, paying for, buying off, utilizing agents to, you know, coerce and set up all kind of, I mean, America's heavily involved in all of this stuff, man. And they're allowing all this stuff to happen. Let's continue on. Kamala Harris says she's scared as heck. And tells Joy Behar how she plans to run against the crazies. I mean, when was the last time anybody even seen her? And here she is talking about she's scared as heck and that everybody should be scared of running against Donald Trump and the crazies. I mean, the fact that they even are utilizing her as a mouthpiece is just an embarrassment. We ain't seen her in who knows how long. She's a complete joke, man. You ask her a question, she gets to cackling and giggling. No wonder she's scared. But I just thought that was very interesting and funny that she just kind of, you know, throw out some typical slanderous. Oh, they're crazy. Oh, I'm scared as heck. Trying to prey on the fear of people, saying you should be scared if they get in the office. Man, they already said, man, Black Hispanics and the younger crowd aren't going to vote for slow Biden or for her. So there's no chance that she's running a second term under slow Biden. And she's trying to utilize the fear. Oh, you guys should be scared because I'm scared. What? Come on, man. There they go lying again. But she's scared now, y'all. So if y'all see Kamala anywhere, Kamala, whatever the hell, however you say her name, just offer her, you know, your help, man, because she's scared out here. If you believe that, unreal. Flame seen shooting out of Boeing 747, prompting an emergency landing in Miami. Another plane crash, or this was an emergency landing. If you see the video, you can see over here, man, the they said it was a golf ball size hole, like in the engine. I mean, it was spurting out flames all over the place. This was an Atlas Air flight, Atlas Boeing 747 jet. Another problem. A week before that, you had another plane, Alaska Airlines, a damn door blew off. I mean, if that ain't happening, people are fighting on the planes. If that ain't happening, you know, there's other plane parts that's falling off. I mean, this whole thing is going down. If you see the damn military planes, helicopter crashes, falling, you know, crash landing off of, departing up off of the destroyer planes. I mean, everything is just in complete disarray. Complete disarray. Ford cuts lightning output in the latest sign of EV downshift. So their plans on, you know, trying to push towards this electric vehicle revolution, green, clean energy, you know, it's completely backfiring. It ain't going down. Ford said that they're going to shut down the EV sales of their Ford Lightning trucks. You see some of the viral videos going on out there right now, let alone the reports that these electric vehicles, man, that's caught up in these extreme cold situations, they can't charge their cars. The charging stations are freezing over. The batteries in the cars can't be charged up. People are getting stuck at the charging stations. The electric vehicle whole thing is a damn joke. But meanwhile, they're over in California saying everything's going electric. 2025 to 2030, we're shutting down all gas. I mean, they're looking to just completely collapse and destroy everything, man. That's all they want. But I thought that was interesting, man. Everybody riding around in the Teslas and everything else, man, they out there struggling in them cold weathers conditions. 7-year-old written up after saying Jesus Christ is school. So what are they really doing, man? They got no problem with the Satan after school clubs. They got no problem with the sodomites and the drag queens reading to the kids in the schools. They got no problem implementing all of these damn LGBTQ plus books in the schools. They got no problem with the teachers coming out to their classes talking about their sexual preferences and going viral in classrooms. All that's fine. Now, although that's not Hamashiach Yahushai's name, which I'm stating clearly, Yahushai is his name, not Jesus Christ. But the fact remains that even within the school systems, within the public parameters of what you can and can't say, remember, we're getting into the facts of control of what is going to be acceptable, misinformation, disinformation, what's offensive, not offensive, controlling speech and language is going to be the next phase. A 7-year-old gets written up and disciplined for saying Jesus Christ is cool. And then the school says, oh, it was the way they said it. DeSoto County, Mississippi, a disciplinary notice that many parents don't expect to get from their child's teacher. A Mid-South mom said her 7-year-old son was written up by his first grade teacher because he said Jesus Christ at the DeSoto County School. The church said Jesus Christ. Bible study said Jesus Christ, said Shauna Coleman. The school disciplinary notice from Hope Sullivan Elementary School said he said Jesus Christ when he dropped his Legos. He was cleaning up from class. A box on the note also checked off a box and said unacceptable language. And another one that said he had conference with students. What do you mean he had conference with students? I mean, I've shown and we've seen the secret meetings that they have with these LGBTQ plus HIV networks and groups where they were monitoring kids' search engines and recruiting them into their little clubs and all of that. Remember that? That was here in California. See, if you're not going along with the program, man, if you're not going to go on with the satanic agenda, then sooner or later they're going to start violating those. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You can't say Yahushua or you're offending somebody or oops, we're going to have to penalize you. If y'all remember that movie Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone, and they had this whole little peaceful community and all that, and you couldn't cuss. As soon as you cussed, there was some little bot monitor that would pop up and give you a ticket. It's going to be something like that, man. When you saying anything biblical, they're already trying to get AI to rewrite Bibles. We just got through seeing that the Church of England said that they were going to take away wife and husband out the word and replace them with the other pronouns because they don't want to offend anybody. Remember that? See, these are the things that they're putting on the table, man. 7-year-old gets written up for saying Jesus Christ because it's unacceptable language. Can you imagine? How about this? NBC faces backlash as Texan CJ Stroud's Jesus mention is cut from a social media clip. Did y'all see that? After the football game, CJ Stroud said he'd like to give thanks to his Lord and Savior. They edited that part out and only played a certain portion of his interview. You didn't see it? Here, I'm going to play it for you.
NBC has edited and censored CJ Stroud, and people are furious. So CJ always starts each interview the same way, thanking Jesus. But NBC decided to edit that part out and push it on all their social media accounts. This is what he actually said.
First and foremost, I just want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's been amazing.
And this is the way they edited the clip.
What does this moment mean?
I mean, it's been amazing being in this city for as short as I've...
Did you see that? You can't give any glory, any praise to our Savior, Mashiach Yahushua, to the Most High. That's why you see in most of those, those little fake award shows and all that, man. A lot of these little Hollywood starlets and stars, man, they jump up on there and they say, I want to thank my agent. I want to thank my manager. I want to thank, I want to thank God. And that ain't the first thing on their mind, man. So they edited that clip on purpose, NBC, to remove the mention of Christ and just get right to the gladiator games. Let's let him one more time.
Always starts each interview the same way, thanking Jesus. But NBC decided to edit that part out and push it on all their social media accounts. This is what he actually said.
First and foremost, I just want to give all glory and praise to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's been amazing.
And this is the way they edited the clip.
What does this moment mean?
I mean, it's been amazing being in this city for as short as I've been. But
This is a disgraceful act by NBC, and they need to do better.
Now, you know they're going to come out and say, oh, that wasn't us. The editor has been disciplined, and we didn't know this was happening. And,
NBC has edited and censored.
But if you're going to discipline the 7-year-old for saying it, now on TV they're saying, hold on, edit that out. We can't allow that to be said. You already know what time it is. So as they continually just show us flashes of what they want to happen in the future, this is how you know when Yahushua said that we're going to be persecuted for his name's sake. I mean, we're talking about not just edited clips, because you know what? They still going to need CJ Stroud to make them millions of dollars and, drive up ad revenue and get the TV, get the TV ads and all that other stuff going on. All that stuff is going to go down, man. Why is my mouse not? See, continuing on here in John 15, it says, if you were of the world, no, hold on, verse 18. If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world will love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember, the word, dang it. Computer's tripping, y'all. Hold on one second. Okay, verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you. The servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Right? So the censoring of, not again, we know Jesus Christ is not the true name of Mashiach Yahushua, but for the world and for the English and for those who are unaware of the true name, this is the stepping stones. So just imagine when it comes down to brothers out publicly preaching, quote unquote, evangelizing, going on the highways and the byways. Imagine when the walls cave in. We know that the scriptures say there's going to be a famine of the word, right? All of these things we talked about a number of times. This is just a stepping stones, man. We just see the writings on the wall, the things that they will allow and the things that they won't allow. They'll allow a man to go into a woman's restroom, right? And they'll allow him to get his rod chopped off. They'll allow him to change his name. They'll allow the kids to be taken from their parents if they don't agree with, transitioning and all that. But you can't say a name. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Couple more and then we're going to wrap up. Food deserts on the rise in Democrat-run cities as grocers leave in droves. It's very interesting now. These Democratic cities, man, where the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans primarily dwell in, been programmed to vote Democrat. All of our cities are completely being ran over with and collapsing. And now they're all waking up saying, hold on, man, slow Biden and the Democrat, man, They ain't treating us right, man. Boss said he was going to give us free healthcare, free money, free stimulus, free everything. And he was going to look out for us. And if we didn't vote for him, we ain't black. So now all of them is doing U-turns, right? So the food desert meaning what? Scarcity of viable and healthy foods or whatnot, man, is all throughout the ghettos. They're going to give us a number. They'll give us Popeyes, Taco Bell, McDonald's, and you name it. We'll get the back end grocery stores, the Food for Lesses, the El Supers, and while the white folks, they're getting Gelson's. And I'm just speaking about the differences here in California. I don't know where you're at, but Gelson's, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, these are all top-notch. Mother's Market, these are all the top-notch healthy stores that are definitely not in our communities. We'll get the back ends of Food for Less, El Super, what's the other ones that's out there? These low end markets. They get the back end and the leftovers. You understand what I'm saying? So they create food deserts, meaning what? The quality of food, sustainable foods is out. They're on the rise in our cities, man. And that just leads us to getting bad food, bad supplies. They're taking out pharmacies where many of our people are needing these medicines or whatnot, man. They didn't close down. I'm just talking about here in my neighborhoods. They didn't close down a number of different CVSs, which are the pharmacies, making our people have to travel to go get their prescriptions or whatnot. You know, so here, so the panic is palpable. Democrat-controlled cities across the nation are experiencing something they might never have experienced before. Consequences for their terrible criminal prosecution policies, and they don't like it not one bit. Democrats have argued for the past couple of years that crime rates are actually falling in the U.S. compared to previous decades. But this does not seem to represent the streets, as retailers in numerous metro areas are closing up shop after many years of operations due to increasing theft. So the Democrats, they're putting out there saying, oh, yeah, kind of superior. That's right. Democrats are saying, hey, crime is down. But meanwhile, all these businesses are closing because of theft, crime, carjackings, murder. I mean, everything is going down. Tell San Francisco everything is great. Tell all these other collapsed cities, man, that everything is fine. No, you know, DC, Washington, DC. We just seen, I read the story a few months back. They were talking about one of the major grocery stores in the hood was thinking about closing up shop. Go to the stores now, man. They got everything locked up, from deodorant to hair products to you name it. You got to get somebody, man, to open up the damn thing for you. Frozen foods, everything. I was at a 99-cent store last week trying to get some batteries, and they got locks on the batteries. I'm like, you at the 99-cent store, man. What are you locking up batteries for? And I asked the sister that worked there, I'm like, how am I supposed to get these batteries in? Like, she was like, you know what? Just rip it off the thing. I'm like, well, why even put these damn things up here then if that's the case? But this is what's going down. Here's an example. They're talking about this thing, Walgreens in Boston are all closing up.
Fourth Walgreens is now closing in Boston in a predominantly Black and Latino neighborhood.
Predominantly Black and Latino neighborhood, they're closing it. Yeah, Northgate. I was thinking about that. Northgate, absolutely. I know they had Northgates out there in the D. But yeah, y'all know, because we all probably haven't been to them. Fourth Walgreens closing in Roxbury, Boston. Now, Boston is a small city. I've been out there. Boston is a small city. Roxbury is one of the hoods or ghettos of Boston. Predominantly Black and Hispanic living there. Fourth Walgreens is closing over there, man. This is the resource that many of the elderly need, so forth and so on. They're closing them up, and they're targeting our neighborhoods, right? Let me play this.
Now closing in Boston in a predominantly Black and Latino neighborhood. And tonight, neighbors who rely on that pharmacy are furious.
As WBZ's Tiffany Chan shows us, they say it's more than just an inconvenience. The store shelves are empty and the signs are up, alerting customers that this Roxbury Walgreens will be closed for good at the end of the month.
How are they supposed to go get their medicine?
It's sparking concern and outrage from residents who rely on the Warren Street drugstore in this predominantly Black neighborhood.
What happens to our seniors and our single parents that have no way to get to a Walgreens or another pharmacy anywhere near their home? And so we think it's insensitive, it's unjust.
Reverend Miniard Culpepper points to the senior housing developments just steps from the Walgreens and questions how the elderly will get their medications, especially after the pharmacy chain closed their stores in Hyde Park, Nubian Square, and Mattapan about a year ago. Walgreens says they're downsizing, but the Reverend calls it nothing short of corporate greed. Why do you think they target Black and brown communities?
I think because they get no pushback, but they're now getting pushback.
Protesting alongside dozens of other.
See, she said, why do you think they're targeting Black and Hispanic neighborhoods? And he says, because they're not getting pushback. No, you got it all twisted, man. It's because of their vitriol and hatred for our people. It's because of us not keeping the commandments and us falling into victimhood of the curses. See, the good Reverend, man, he don't know what he don't have the answer. He think because we ain't fighting back. You can fight back all you want. That store is closing January 31st. But until our people recognize and say, you know what, no, it's because we're dealing with a completely different, we're speaking on a completely different dynamic. We're dealing with our enemies. Look, we know the curse, man. I'm going to just go there real quick. But the good Reverend, man, he don't know about Deuteronomy 28:48. Waking our people up and understanding and knowing that we are under a curse that makes us in want of all things from our enemies. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. The first thing he's got to recognize is these are our enemies that are doing these things. So if you're wondering why we're facing people that are targeting Black and Hispanics, because they are enemies, right? Continued on, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, who shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. So he's out there trying to explain, saying, because we're not out there with picket signs, that's the reason why. No, my man. No, good Reverend. It's because our enemies are oppressing us. Our enemies are creating an atmosphere of pursuant to the curses. This is why we got to wake our people up.
Fourth Walgreens is now closing in.
They target Black and brown communities.
I think because they get no pushback, but they're now getting pushback.
Protesting alongside dozens of other frustrated customers fighting to keep this Walgreens open.
Don't we need to have something in the community to help the Black, the elderly, the sick? You know what I'm saying? They can't go far.
The problem boils down to accessibility, says former Boston NAACP president turned healthcare advocate Michael Curry.
The communities where they're closing these pharmacies are communities where people are desperately impacted by disease,
Yeah, desperately impacted by disease. That goes back again to the curses where we could talk about the Most High going to smite us with mildew, plague, disease, blasting, all that other stuff, the botch. You understand what I'm saying? But meanwhile, you got these doctors, man, that line our people up, put them on lifelong heart medications. You got our people being plagued with things of cancer, arthritis, asthma, all kinds of different diseases, man. And meanwhile, the doctors are just doing what? Writing out prescriptions saying, here, you got to get this. Especially those folks, man, that are on particular heart medications. They telling them, man, you got to keep them things for life. And this is why they're saying, well, how am I supposed to get my heart medication? All the pharmacies is closed in our areas. I got to travel 2 hours or an hour to get to, and I don't have a car. I can't get on the bus. I'm disabled. It's freezing cold outside. You understand what I'm saying? They're targeting and they know exactly what they're doing. I'm not going to play any more of the video for time's sake, but you see what's going on.
or 3 times higher.
Let's look at presidential hopeful real quick. Nikki Haley. Let's see her reputation. She wants to be the next president, right? Right. So, how trustworthy is she? How honorable is she? How morally right is she? How sound is she when it comes down to leading and guiding people in truth and honesty? Well, let's look here. Nikki Haley did, that's a capital D-I-D, did cheat on her husband, Michael, and had affairs with comms consultant and a married South Carolina lobbyist. Did you hear that? Twice she cheated on her husband within the same year. I think they were both in the same year. Look at this. Nikki Haley did cheat on her husband, Michael, had affairs, plural, with her comms consultant and a married South Carolina lobbyist. So she's an adulteress. South Carolina lobbyist before she became governor, sworn affidavits and new witnesses claim. Nikki Haley, 51, denied claims she cheated on her husband, Michael, before she became South Carolina governor in 2010, saying she was 100% faithful. She's maybe she's saying the time frame is off. No. Before I became governor, I was faithful, but maybe no. Because you know what? The two guys, man, they both submitted themselves to sworn affidavits and said they were going to tell the truth. Yeah, we both was tapping that. Look, now multiple GOP insiders tell Daily Mail that they were intimately aware of Haley's infidelity at the time, saying, quote, it was totally out in the open. Communications consultant Will Folks, 49, and lobbyist Larry Marchant, 61, both signed affidavits in 2010 alleging they had a sexual relationship with Haley. So Haley out there spreading herself out there thin, man. I mean, embodying the mother of harlots, literally, right? So listen, she wants to be president, man. This is all damaging to her moral character. And, obviously she's out there getting busy, man. And her husband is a sucker because he didn't took her. I guess he still didn't took her back, man, after she done cheated twice, committed adultery in the whole nine. And she's saying, I'm fit to lead the nation. Well, hey, man, this is the great harlot, man, the mother of horrors. So why not? Why not elect her? Whatever. AI to impact 40% of jobs and widen inequality, warns the IMF. The International Monetary Fund, we talked about it till our wits end, man, how AI and robotics are the goal to replace human productivity, human expansion, economics. If AI takes your job, man, guess what? That's less money they got to pay for another body, another person they ain't got to support, man. 40% of the jobs, man, are going to be impacted by AI sooner than later, man. So just know that this is another part of depopulation, a less need for you, me, and whoever else as AI is moving in to try to take over. America's debt time bomb. Missed credit card payments are up in 49 of the 50 states as grim study shows where inflation and high interest rates have wreaked the most havoc. 49 out of 50 states, man, credit card payments are being missed. So it's everywhere. Everybody's feeling the crunch. Everybody's in debt. People are utilizing credit cards to live. Can't keep up. Eventually, this whole thing's got to collapse and break, right? So economically, we see where America's at. San Francisco Mall loses its 5th store in a month as occupancy plunges to just 25%. Can you imagine a mall that only 25% of the stores is open? That thing is getting ready to shut down. But I thought everything was fine, man. Crime is down. The economy's looking good. I can't tell. This place is very close to collapsing. A whole mall, only 25% of it is occupied. Everybody else is closing up shop. This one had my mind. I was looking like, what? For those who are in this particular situation, man, my prayers are with you, man. I thank the Most High, man. My sons are grown now and grown enough that I don't have to do this anymore. But for those that need childcare, I feel for you if you're paying for it. You know, this is why we have to have, you know, community assets within, you know, our community. There's a, you know, in my circumference, there's a couple of sisters that I know that have their daycares and are help, you know, Israelite communities because of it. But look, childcare costs are making working pointless. Cash-strapped parents rant about spending half of their wages on daycare as weekly nanny prices jump 4% to $766 and millions raid their savings. This is by week. Now, mind, this is probably just for one kid. In Massachusetts, it's $899 a week for childcare. DC, $894. California, $890. Now, I remember, what was it, early 2000s? Well, this is just for my oldest son. This was he was, I think I remember paying maybe about $400 a week. That was what, 2003, 4, maybe, I don't know. But I remember paying that much. Now it's up to $800, almost $900 a week. God forbid you got 2, 3, you know. Yeah, Granny and Big Mama is burnt out. If they alive, they ain't trying to take care of your 5 gremlins. They ain't trying to take care of your 3. They ain't got it in them no more. Real quick, and let's look at Baruch. You know, and this is interesting because you got some of our people, man, running around talking about I ain't in captivity. I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't in captivity. I'm free. Oh, really? Okay, look at this. Baruch 3. Baruch 3. Let's read verse 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. Regardless of what our people, I'm able to drive, vote, I can buy this, I can get on the internet, make money. That you're still going to be subject to taxes. You're still going to be subject to the oppressions of, driving while black, so forth and so on. But here's the key thing of how we know that we are still in captivity. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity where thou hast scattered us. So being scattered, being part of a diaspora, not knowing who you are, not having an identity of understanding your culture, your history, your language, your laws, your commandments, your governmental structure, so forth and so on. That's part of being captive. Not knowing, you understand, being dictated and told who you are, where you come from, so forth and so on, limiting the information that will draw you back to your ancestry. That's part of captivity. Where thou hast scattered us, continuing on, it says, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. So that's part of being in captivity, is being subject to payments. When we have our own kingdom, we're not paying anybody to take care of our children or whatnot. We already have an established rulership to where you ain't gonna need. You can raise your kids on your own without having to worry about financial burdens or whatnot. And the scriptures even tell us in Isaiah, what is it, 43, 48? I forgot, about the princes and the nations, man, are going to be the nannies, giving suck and so forth and so on, taking care of her kids. If I want, man, Becky over here, man, to pick up my kids and wipe their butt, she gonna do it. That's when we're in rulership. But being subject to payments, that's being part of being in captivity. According to all the iniquities of our fathers, which have departed from our Lord, the Most High. So being subject to payments is part of being in captivity. When you're talking about, man, paying damn near $900 a week, good Lord. And that's for one kid, man. If you got 3 or 4 or 2 that you got to make sure that they can take care of, man, you can forget about it. Look, Haggai 1:6 says, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. He that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. As easy as we receive it, as easy as it goes out. From everything from your car note to insurance to your mortgage to your rent to food, clothing, energy, you name it, childcare. I mean, everything we earn goes right back out. And then you say, well, I got money, I'm investing. What are you investing in? I put my money in the market. Well, you putting it right back into the damn trap. The big old white collar gambling syndicate that's ran by the so-called white man. I just read an article last week that said that 90% of the market is ran by the damn elites. They're the ones running it all. Market manipulation and the whole nine. So again, you're putting into that thing, putting your money into the banks, my money into the banks, man. We don't even own our damn money in the banks. You can't even guarantee that money's coming back. They're going out gambling your money, loaning it out. I mean, that's truly being oppressed, man. We are in captivity. Look at this. Go down to Mississippi. That's the cheapest. $577 a week. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. Couple more and then we're gonna get up out of here, man. There you go, Al-Kabar. Isaiah 49:23. That's right. Citizens and Bank of America and Capital One wipe out dozens of locations in just 1 week as they become the latest victims of the bank branch bloodbath. You see the banks are continually still collapsing and closing. Bank of America, Citizens Bank, and Capital One all wiping out dozens of locations, all showing collapsing of the economy, the limited of money supply circulating, looking to create this whole digital economy. You already know what time it is. Just documenting and showing you it's still going down. Sports Illustrated, the entire staff was told they're getting laid off. This was one of the biggest magazines back when I was coming up playing sports and everything else, man. Sports Illustrated was the epitome of sports magazine and media. You know, Jake's getting on Sports Illustrated covers, the swimsuit editions, all that. Man, and guess what? Sports Illustrated out of here. Things are changing, y'all. Things are changing. What used to be ain't no more. They're going broke. They're folding up. They got hit with I think it was a letter or an email or something. Look, all of them got the letter, man. Everybody's gone. So the iconic magazine Sports Illustrated, they're folding up, man. Times is changing, man. Things are becoming more desperate. As much as they talking about, oh, the economy's great, we're fine. Oh, I can't tell. So we're seeing banks closing, shuttering. World War III is on the lips of everybody from NATO, China, the UK, America. That's flowing out the lips freely. The ZX is on the World Health Organization's lips. They're talking about trying to implement a new amendment so that they can gain global control for when that thing slips out of this holding tank that they got in China. Murder rates skyrocketing just south of the border here in California. You name it, man. You name it. The proverbial phrase, all hell's breaking loose, you best believe it. It's going down. That's going to conclude, man, the STN, episode 263. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, man. Salute to everybody that tuned in today and that's going to be watching in the near future. All right. Lord willing, everybody has a blessed Shabbat and maintains themselves with the fear of the Most High, the keeping of the commandments. But I'm going to go on and get up out of here, man. Y'all be well. And till the next time. All right. Shalom.